He has won it. Thorn Falcon wins for the Two Dragons and a Lion. But Romeo Magical has won the Derby. It's going to be Daytime Nemo.
Delardi-Dar leads it for home off the corner, striding clear from Churchfield Centre by Iman. Delardi-Dar wins the Derby.
We are here again, live from Toaster for round 2, the Star Sports and TRC English Derby venue in all its glory in the beautiful sunshine here at Toaster Racecourse. We are Gone to the Dogs Live. I, of course, am Danny Jackson, always here ready for the show. And tonight I've got Daryl Williams with me. Daryl, how are you?
I'm great, Danny. Just watching those titles, I just feel that the Greyhound Derby is my life. I look back and I can't believe Rapid Ranger was 25 years ago. I can remember watching Rapid Ranger, you know, interviewing and everything else. And, oh, my gosh, you know, you look back. But we move on. It's all about looking forward. We've had the first run. Now we move up a notch, don't we? It gets a bit tougher from tonight onwards.
It does get a little bit serious from here on in. But I tell you what we're going to do. We're going to have a look back at last week and relive all the highlights.
And they're off from racing, and a flyer from Tiffield Tarquin on the outside to lead Bubbly Charger into the turn and cuts across that rival and now goes on. And Tiffield Tarquin, he stays really well, this dog. Bubbly Charger is chasing in vain. There's a big margin of victory there. 6-1-2 then. Tiffield Tarquin wins Heat 2. And they're away and racing, and flashing out the boxes is Clifford Gorham. The stayer has got to the front. Early pace from both Wiki Ned and now Bocco's Diamond, who circles the field, just gets a little bump then when challenging. Off the last turn now, Bocco's Diamond is kicking. He has a 2-leg split from 4. Clifford Gorham, who is closing but won't get there. Stylish 24-carat performance from Bocco's Diamond. And they're away and racing, and 4 flashes the lids. It's Romeo Tomcat with early pace from Faldashatelic, who challenge up on the inside and just nose ahead now, just bumps into Romeo Tomcat. Romeo Tomcat trying to launch a challenge. They're well clear of the rest of the chasing pack, headed by Droopy's Job as they swing for the judge. It's Faldashatelic. He's going to grit it and tough it out. Faldashatelic near the line in a thriller in Heat 9. Gates lifting off and racing, and 1 Droopy's Event flashes the lids, but early pace from Cheap Sandwiches to come through a challenge as they turn for the judge. It's Poetry in Motion. Cheap Sandwiches, yes sir, he's gone on to win nicely in the end. It's a 6-2-1 order. And away and racing, and a good break from Tricky Wiggles up on the outside. Also on the inner is Fay Point Susie. It's Droopy's Superstar, who's looming in the wing mirrors. She kicks again, Fay Point Susie. She's game and sees it out well. 2's beaten 3, with 5 Tricky Wiggles qualifying back in 3rd. What a thriller. And away and racing, and Delardi-Dar has bombed out the box, and he's dashed into the turn with a clear 4-5 length lead. He's in a hurry here. Gunslinger is next in the field. He's in a hurry here. He's some 8 lengths clear of the chasing pack, headed by Druids Orgo. Then in behind this one comes Clona Curly, and up towards the line. This was straightforward. It's on the distance, lads, and Delardi-Dar has won it, and won it easily. And they're off from racing, and 3 Keyfield Goose has come out like a scolded cat and leads into the turn ahead of Make It Paddington, who's going to turn second, just runs off a little bit as they come round the final turn. It's Keyfield Goose still with the lead. Sing Along Molly is edging closer, but she won't get there. Keyfield Goose will make all. Off and racing to a fairly level line, apart from Rhino 2-stroke who missed the kick, but it's Dynamic Force who's flown into the bend and sets up a 3-length lead already as they swing for home in view of the judge. Dynamic Force is well clear, and Dynamic Force beats Antigua Kestrel with 1 Savannah Marapi back in 3rd spot. And away and racing. Racing, and a smart start from Golden Palace, but up on the outside, Lenny's Desire. 4, Vagar, he's in a clear second, and it'll be a race for the places only. As 6, Lenny's Desire is going to come home alone here from Vagar, and qualifying back in third is That's It Jack for Sunderland handler Dean Blackbird. And Away and Racing, and Droopy's Plunge has taken a flyer from the boxes and looking to clear them into the turn. Oh my word, Droopy's Plunge has led round here. He's gone 4, 5 lengths clear coming off the last turn. Droopy's Plunge in supreme isolation. Very, very impressive indeed. 2 has beaten 3, 6, Deliveroo took third. And Off and Racing, and the favourite has missed the kick. Better break from Kevin's Rocket, and also Kilo's Runner showing good early zip. They just collide though. It is Bombay Pat with a clear lead. He missed his break, but he's got the job done all right. 6-2-1 is the order. Kevin's Rocket and Righty qualifying in behind.
Been a real good dog for us, so hopefully he just continues qualifying and see where it takes us.
And Away and Racing, and it's won the first to show Coolio Gold, who's going to lead into the turn from Table Toppers, and the favourite Clone Rice just rather missed the kick, but it's Coolio Gold who's kicked again. Coolio Gold's got on from Uncle Freddie, who got up for second, and Table Toppers qualified back in third.
Brilliant. Once he tracked, we thought we had a good chance. You know, he made the quarterfinals last year, was a bit unlucky in the quarterfinal. Dog took his back legs. We're having another go this year.
Gates lift off from Racing, and Joe's come flying out. Balabola Joe is going to rush into the turn, and he's going to take a comfortable lead here from Barefoot on Fire, who's in second. Turning for the judges, hard work on the front end for Balabola Joe. He's all out. Balabola Joe hangs on from Barefoot on Fire, and back in third was Trap 4, 9%.
I'm very pleased with him.
Stand by, Off and Racing. 3 stumbled, leaving the boxes. First to show was Droopy's Metaphor into the turn. It's Droopy's Metaphor, followed through by Fabulous Sonic. Then comes the pup in behind Headford Asher with work on, and Ball Sports Bob is next at the back of the pack. Ball Sports Bob up towards the line. All out, Ball Sports Bob sweeping through and gets on top, close home. A 6-2-1 order.
He done us proud, he done it the hard way. But we knew he was capable, and he was coming through anyway.
And we're Away and Racing, and a flashy break from Sunnyside Broxy on the inside, but it's Churchfield Sid that roars into the first bend. Snapping at heels is Sunnyside Broxy, who's lunging late up towards the line. Churchfield Sid all out. Oh my word, that is a photo. That's very, very close indeed.
He's a proper dog, isn't he? A proper dog. Oh yeah, look, that's 1 win. 2 more to go, but you can't have no more of the dog.
Well, it was only a week ago, but my word, the feelings are all still there when you see those absolutely sensational, ping breaks, when you see the photo finishes. Oh, I can't wait for more of the same tonight and tomorrow. We've got our first 8 heats of the second round, starting at 7:10. The second one is a mouth-watering clash at 7:28. We've got Delardi Dar, Lenny's Desire, Ballinabola Joe in there. We've also got a bit of a loony in the kennel. Brinkley's Louie is in the 8:22, and both mine and Daryl's Nap in that race with Droopy's Aladdin. We've got Vagar and Churchfield Sid. Vagar has been touted as one of maybe the top bitch market at 8:57, and our final race this evening, we've got a non-runner in Dark Madam, and Keyfield Goose might be away and gone, but we've got the mum, Faye Point Susie, in the red jacket as well, who a couple of people have napped. But we're up to the Star Sports and TRC Greyhound Derby outright betting. This is the Star Sports market. Bocco's Diamond 7-2, Cheap Sandwiches 7-1, Proper Heiress 8s, Bombay Pat 10s, the big move from last week, Delardi-Da 11-1, 14-1 Droopy's Plunge, and Lenny's Desire in 20s bar those. From the top of the market, Daryl, who jumps out as you as a bit of value?
Oh, that's a great question, because I've probably got 1 or 2 further down that I should have backed and haven't done. I'm going to go against the advice I'm probably trying to offer everybody tonight, which is, if you fancy a dog now, get on, because in half an hour's time your heat might have been run or the markets will be suspended, and suddenly you might wake up to the fact that the dog you like is now half the price. So do what I haven't done yet. I've still got time, and back 1 or 2. I don't know. I think we expected Delardi-Da to move last week, which was the case. Obviously tonight we don't get to see the 2 favourites, do we? We've got to be patient and wait until tomorrow for those, but we get to see a lot of the big guns certainly this evening.
We do indeed. Very excited about this evening. And another man who is looking forward to running around Toaster tonight is Jason Beresford.
Yes, thanks, Danny. I'm looking forward to it immensely. The sky is out, the sun is out even, the sky is blue. I'm going to be talking to all concerned, all the owners, the kennel hands, the trainers. Excuse me, mate, do you know any trainers?
Oh, I saw one over there. Follow the limp.
Time waster, absolute time waster. You do get the odd nutter, I'm afraid. Now, the bookmakers last week, I was perhaps a bit unkind to them, but you should have heard social media when they were talking about them. Cry me a river with an emoji. They don't like it up 'em, so come on, Car News, the Star Sports, give it a bit.
Give it a bit. I mean, we're still reeling after last week. We've only just got ourselves up. We've had to come in tonight, have a nice bit of food. We bought some donuts to brighten the mood, to be honest. It's been a painful week. We've had to go and find some money. I've been busking all week.
Yeah, you didn't give me any donuts. Now, after the draw was made, was there any big moves?
Not massively. The biggest move was obviously Delardidar probably a shortener in the anti-post market, and Ballinabula Joe into about 20 to 1. The other one we kept on size Barefoot on Fire. But obviously the draw tonight, Heat 2, is very good with the front three from last week, the quickest qualifiers all in together. Cheap Sandwiches, Boccos, Diamond, they've sort of found themselves in easier heats, so it didn't really move too much of the anti-post book.
Give us a winner for tonight.
I think Antigua Kestrel's too big now, around 6 to 1. He won't be that, I don't think, race time. I just thought March on Freddy's worth taking on. Look, if you look down at the bottom of the board, we're trying to take on two in an enhanced double. March on Freddy and Proper Heiress. Those are the two we want to be against.
Just look how many layers he's got. 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'm not going to find out if he's got a vest or not, that's for sure. Right, I'm going to go round and go round and speak to Lofty as well. He's just doing a little bit of work. Yeah. This is always working, always.
Simon's always
How are you?
things to his blog. Yeah, not bad, Jason. Yeah, not bad at all. Back here from last week again, so here we go again, take two.
Who are you looking to get after tonight? Because you did really well last week.
I did, but you can't lay him. You can't shake him upside down. You only bet the dogs they want to bet and not what you want to try and make them bet. So now I was March on Freddie again. I thought I'd be against him tonight. He's only got a 5-dog eat now, and I can see him getting a bigger price than I really want to lay him at, to be truthfully honest. He's got quite backable now. You know, if Proper Heiress had the run last week, he'd have been a 4-1 shot tonight. You can back him at 4 to 7. So there's another one. There wouldn't be two in rush to lay him. Would have been running for Barntick Bear here in this race, but you can say he's got a nice draw inside, but he's got to do it the hard way. So he'll get us off on the back foot if he wins. Just had a decent bet up there at 6 to 4. So we'll see what happens with Barntick Bear. But yeah, we'll crack on again. We'll play him again tonight and be bleating again probably after another 8 races.
I think after all the heats last week, I think there were, was it 2 6 to 1 shots, and apart from that, not too much salvation?
Yeah, you know, these first rounds are so hard to win on. I mean, we actually managed to win last year in the first round. Must have been some sort of miracle. I don't know what happened there. It might have been struck by lightning or something. But yeah, Ben always says the first round's impossible to win on. So we probably got away lightly really last week. Saying we done, you know, it's had a £17,000 turn in the last race here with Churchfield Sid. But yeah, we'll keep on firing and see what goes on. So.
Well, massive thanks to you and Carm for talking to us, particularly after what happened last week. And in answer to that person on the internet who was so very, very cruel, my last message to you two is, cry me a river!
I can sing that.
I think we need to do a bit of Gone to the Dogs karaoke. I would take off... well, I think. Would you do karaoke? No, we'll leave that one.
Pass.
Right, let's have a look at some Daryl's Dazzlers.
Hey, who came up with that?
Genius, that's it.
It's a full team's full working week to come up with that one. Lots of winners, I think, particularly early on, because they've already been captioned as winners, the first four. Tiffel Tarquin, yeah, I mean, listen, that's a great story, and I'm sure we'll come back to that, Bill McCall, etc., etc.
Yes.
Ballinabula Joe, yeah, I mean, that's the great heat, isn't it, with the 3 fast heat winners. I like Hello Diego, I think, over Price, Slick Sentinel. Droopis Aladdin was one of those 6 to 1 winners that Lofty just mentioned last week. Won't be 6 to 1 tonight.
No.
Obviously beat Proper Heiress, so Aladdin wins. Heiress will probably be even shorter. Droopis Plunge is a good thing, and I really do like Keyfield Goose. I like all 8 of those, strangely enough.
You're joking.
Yeah.
I like a couple myself, to be fair, of those. We have got our naps as well. Jason with Dynamic Force in the 7:28. Myself and Daryl agreeing for a change. Droopy's Aladdin in Trap 2 in the 8:22. A shade of odds on at the moment. And Ashley Williams, who's turned a few of the staff on Gone to the Dogs into babies. It's Faye Point Susie. He is our social media guru for the Derby and beyond. Right, I'll tell you what we're going to have a look at. Our second heat of round 2, because the reigning champ is in the blue jacket, Da. But it's the hottest heat of the night for me. We've got 3 of the fastest heat winners from round 1 in here. 6-5 Da, 9-4 Ballinabola Joe, Lenny's Desire at 3-1. I mean, I'm always a bit of a sentimental type anyway, but I've actually gone with Lenny's Desire here. I think he's the up-and-coming pup for me, and I really like him. I think once he opens up on that back straight, and on the straights generally, he's very, very good. He's slightly unbalanced on the bends sometimes, but he's still learning on the job. And I just think the Da might have it all to do. But going to watch him. Yeah,
so this is Da, who broke so well. If you watch the preview programme, Jason was picking up on the fact that, you know, he doesn't normally come out this quickly. He's gone, isn't he? 3.95, one of the quickest splits. Can he reproduce that? We know from last year's evidence, Danny, that not only did he win the first round, but he won the second round. Then he got beaten a couple of rounds before obviously winning the semi and the final. He's drawn away from his 2 rivals, so in terms of a make-up, it's brilliant, but only if he gets his trapping boots on again.
Yeah, because he will be struggling otherwise, I think, to lead into the first bend. I think we're going to have a look at another heat, though, before we start our build-up of the first heat of the night, because we're going to have a look at this one. Dynamic Force, 6-4, 11-4, Hello Diego, 9-2, Scooby the Boss, 6-1, Barthos. Now, we both like Hello Diego in this, and I was really impressed with him, 1, in the Maiden Derby, and 2, how strongly he stayed on. But we're going to have a look at Dynamic Force. Yeah, Dynamic Force is Jason's nap, as you've just highlighted. Was able to get across from Trap 6 and pretty much control the race. I mean, it's a good run. Paul Hennessy has 3 in the race. I mean, he could qualify all 3, but it's not ideal to have 3 runners the same race. But what a team he's got with Hello Diego and, of course, Boris Blue, who we shouldn't underestimate. There's a lot of strong runners in this field. I mean, Dynamic Force's chance is probably to try and go to the front early and then deal with possibly 3 really strong finishers trying to get after him. I like Hello Diego partly down to the price as much as anything else. I think there's more to come. He's a bit of a course specialist around here, 3 from 4. But, you know, it's a cracking heat, isn't it? It is. We've got 8 cracking heats to come, but the first of them is on the way. We are 7:10 for our first post time this evening, and the first heat looks like this. Trap 1, Barntick Bear, 11-8. 2, Druids All Go, 15-8. Trap 3, Never Say No at 5-1. Sunnyside Broxy is 8-4. 5, Tiffield Tarquin at 12-1. And 6, Burrows Eclipse is at 20. Surprised to see Tiffield Tarquin. I'd like to think those prices are probably not quite right, to be quite honest with you, because if it can have 12-1 about Tiffield Tarquin, I've got to go. I've got a bet to place. But, yeah, I think they might have been slightly in the wrong order, those prices, to a degree. But I was going to say. Yeah. I mean, I've put myself. This is Tiffield Tarquin. Yes, coming out of Trap 6, of course, obviously draws 5 tonight. That was the head-on. Really, really pacey, I thought. I mean, sometimes dogs are very pacey going up. I thought exceptionally pacey. It's only run out of Trap 5 actually once here, but that was a winning run off a very good split, so the draw shouldn't be a problem in the 5 box. Had a bit of time off before the first round. I mean, I was toying with the idea of napping him, and the only thing that put me off and made me MB him was just because Barntick Bear, the track record holder, is in the race in Trap 1. Yeah. We know what he's capable of. You know, he's an exceptionally good dog. Here we're having a look at the first round run, and he's in 2 here. He just gets shuffled back a bit, doesn't he? Forced back. But, you know what he's got in the locker, Danny, and here he's starting to make progress now. He's going to come through. He's going to master Ero Secundai by almost 2 lengths in the end, and he did that with a trouble run. 3 from 4 at Toaster in Trap 1. Got the box as well. Oh, you love a stat, Darryl. We love a stat. We love a stat in here, Gone to the Dogs. And Barntick Bear, yes, he is the fly in the ointment, but I do like Tiffield Tarquin for this one myself. There we go. 6-4 trap 1, 15-8 the 5. It's 5-1 trap 4, 8-1 trap 6, 10-1 trap 3, 16-1 trap 2. There is trap number 2. Druids all go Derby Plate finalists last year. Snuck through last week after a bit of early bother when crowded at the start for Craig Morris. We have trap 1, Barnsick Bear is a bit of a nervous type, I believe, from last week. Trap 3, Never Say No. Reached round 3 last year. He's very consistent and finished like a train last week to finish 3rd behind a nice type in Ballymac Peb. The 10-1 chance. 5-1 about Sunnyside Broxy. 5th, of course, in the Derby last year. It was a cracking battle between him and Churchfield Sid last week for Ted Soppit. Then we get to Tiffield Tarquin, both myself and Darryl with this lad. He has got a slightly trickier draw today, but he went 2 spots quicker than his trial calculated last week, which is always a good sign. And trap 6, Burrows Eclipse, was 4th in the Maiden Derby final, reached the 3rd round of the Irish Derby and finished strongly last week, just lost in a photo behind Slingshot Sam for Jason Heath. So that is the full 6, sorry, the full 5 actually, because we've not seen Barnsick Bear. I think he is a little bit of a character. Is Barnsick Bear? They kept him.
Isn't he just?
Yeah, I mean, they kept him and Droopy's Plunge away from the parade last week.
He's one of Pat Jansen's teams that going into the first round. Maxine Locke, who's called Martine. Sorry, Maxine. Had 11. She's managed to qualify 8, 1 taken out in the week, so 7 left in.
Just saying, this is Tiffield Tarquin from Heat 2 last week, was in trap 6, popped out, made all, didn't see another rival, so it was impressive. I think the time was pretty good as well, was 28.74 calculated. I think they gave it 20 slow, because this was on the Thursday night, wasn't it? So it was a lot slower than the other 2, but it was a cracking effort.
It was a brilliant effort, yeah, 28.74 calculated, as I said earlier, trap 5, 1 from 1 at Toaster. Had a bit of time off coming into this, and I suppose it is worth pointing out, isn't it, that when the ground was a bit quicker, it was normal on Friday and Saturday, the time's obviously a bit sharper, more dogs were getting out and dominating. Do you remember last year's Derby first round, or even first couple of rounds, there were so many front runners, dog who leads wins.
Yeah.
Most of those dogs were in trap 3, if we remember last year, pinging and winning. It became an easy way to back a winner. We've seen a load of winners in 6 in the first round. I think 6 had 11 winners, 1 might have had 9 without checking the numbers. But in terms of front runners, on Friday and Saturday there were far more dogs that got out and dominated. So it's a warm day today. You'd imagine, you know, Leader's Chance is going to be strong. So if you're looking at Leader's Chance here, I'm looking at Tiffield Tarquin. But I am conscious, of course, obviously, that Barnsick Bear is the track record holder. He's a strong old fella, and, you know, if you're looking over your shoulder and he's close up, we could have race on, couldn't we?
We could. We certainly could. Right, we've got also, if you're watching, obviously, on YouTube, because that's where we are tonight, we've got the comments open, so keep them clean, please. Dynamic Forces, the Nat for Doghouse Riley, Droopy's Bookham for Matty Hickson, Papillon's back to Delardi-Da. CC has had a tip from a tall man in Burford for Antigua Kestrel, and Monkey Man 6BB. First race, 7-10, trap 1 to win. He's going 1 by 3, 1 by 6 forecasts, 5-1-6, 5-1-3 tricast. Good luck to everybody. So if you do want to shout about who you're backing, do make sure you comment on the YouTube channel. You have to be a subscriber to comment, though. So if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, which I know 2,374 people, I think, or something like that, have done already, do make sure you subscribe so that you can interact with us here in the studio. So we're trying something new tonight, Darryl.
Yeah, love the idea, and interesting is that Barnsick Bear is now shorter than Tiffield Tarquin. There's not much in it. I mean, they're totally dominating. If you can see beyond the 2, look, you're getting close on double figures bar the rest. Sunside Broxy, by the way, trap 4, obviously was a finalist under his old name, Ballymac Gizmo, last year. Ran in the 32nd heat of round 1, and he runs in the first heat of round 2. How about that?
We'll see.
Stand by for a start then. Heat 1 of the second round of the Greyhound Derby. And we're away and racing. And a good level line from 5, 3 and 2 into the turn. It's Tefil Tarquin up on the outside, but pushing his way through is Druids All Go, who now hits the front. Tracking this one through then is Tefil Tarquin, and also Never Say No. And look at the strong running Barntic Bear looking for room at the third turn. In behind these comes Burrows Eclipse, and also making ground is Sunnyside Broxy from the back, but hitting the front and kicking clear now. Tefil Tarquin going on. It's going to be a blanket for the Minor Medals. It looks like Sunnyside Broxy may just have got in front of Barntic Bear, but we'll leave that to Andy Lismore, who's on duty here this evening. But Tefil Tarquin, he was impressive again.
He was PL5, Tefil Tarquin. We think in the studio here it's 5-4-1, but we will, of course, wait for the toaster judge to make sure that we are correct. But, yeah, Tefil Tarquin, he just does it the easy way.
Should have napped him, shouldn't I? I'll take next best, though. I mean, it's a fair enough start. And, look, of course you're watching for Barntic, but he's a little way off the pace. But can he get a run through? He's crowded out the back. You know, we know how strong he is, but he took a while to try and get himself into the race. Druids All Go was good enough to hold off Tefil Tarquin initially, who now gets the run. And where's Barntic? But he just can't get squeezed through, can he? He's trapped in behind dogs. He's struggling. We think he's qualified, but he was never going to threaten the leader.
No, he wasn't. I don't think anybody was, really. 29.18, 5-4-1 confirmed, so we got it spot on here. Who needs the judge, eh, Darryl?
And you've got to feel for Druids All Go a little bit, haven't you, for Craig Morris, who's done a lot of the work and has been dipped out of it. This will be interesting, the head-on, 5-4-1, the qualifiers. I mean, they keep their lines. Look at that.
You can't get a more perfect head-on than that. That's unreal. I mean, just as they come to the bend, which you'd expect, they start to concentrate.
I think it's the moments initially. I always, when I'm looking at the head-on, I want to watch the first few steps. I know other people see different things, but it's what you're doing in those first few movements, isn't it, really?
Yeah, for me as well. I watched all the head-ons. I mean, that's what we're going to do again. We'll put all the head-ons together on the YouTube channel so that you can see exactly who's gone where. But, I mean, these guys knew their jobs.
They did.
Straight out the lanes.
Sunnyside Broxy last for Ted Soppick. Never won round here. Still hasn't won round here. Ted won't care. He's got this dog into the third round. Finalist last year, of course, with Liam Dowling. And, yeah, amazing, isn't it? I know he's had, 6 days off since, but he's running consecutive heats, which is pretty remarkable.
It is. I wonder how many times that's happened. But
that's a question. Having
a look from last year as well, he was 5th in the final last year, just behind Churchfield Sid, and of course he was just behind him last week as well in that 30-second heat. So yeah, I was quite. That's just something I like to look at, you know, one of those random things that happens. But 5, Tefil Tarquin. We've got a winner in the book for Darryl's Dazzlers. They're definitely doing better than Keneally's Crash.
Yeah, I hope you're watching Joe, wherever you are, Joe. 101, Joe.
I have to say, Joe and Hobbsy have met each other in a random bar in Spain. That's where they are. One's playing...
And we're going to go to them live now? No, we're not, no.
Oh, it's either Spain or Portugal, someone said. I can't remember.
Well, you see, I thought they were doing what everyone does at Cheltenham now when they go to Benidorm. They've gone to watch the... You know, why not try something different? Go and watch the derby in... wherever they are.
Portugal or Spain.
Exactly.
Where we are not, Darryl, because we are the professionals. Right, we have got them on the podium. Tefil Tarquin with Jenny and Bill McCall, who own this Greyhound and must be absolutely thrilled to see him through to next week. Jim Tate there doing the photography. I think we did a piece with him last week. He's got his photos of everybody and everything on his Jim Tate photography website, so just Google him if you fancy getting any of the pictures off there. He's doing a wonderful job. He managed to collar me and Darryl earlier on, didn't he? So
hold this sign, he said. A sign we're probably seeing being held by many over the course of the next few weeks.
Oh yeah.
Got a new one though for 2025. They're not just... I said to Jim, if they just crossed the 4 out and replaced it with a 5, but no, it's a whole brand new one. So
splashing the cash.
Absolutely.
So we are there with Tefil Tarquin. He's a big boy as we go back to Jason.
What a performance that was by Tefil Tarquin and 3 very, very happy people. I tell you what, I've never seen such broad smile.
No, we're happy. We're very happy. Very happy.
Delighted. It really was because, well, Helen, I've got to come to you because I think, with no offence, yours was the broadest smile of all. Sounds like a children's book, doesn't it? The broadest smile of all.
Just really proud of him. Really proud of him. Can't ask for much more, can you, really?
Well, the thing was that many people thought the path to victory was to blast out May Call, but to have it, if you like, the adversity, then come back, then do that to that field.
He's done it before, though. He's done it. He won his first 2 races. He didn't lead either of them, and won Perry Bar. He didn't lead. He can do it always. He's a proper dog. We're over the moon. Trainers like me, we don't get dogs like that very often. So.
Well, you can certainly do the right things with him when you get hold of him. Now, I've got to go. Now, there's another prize here. This isn't just a round of the Derby. Best dressed lady, I think we'd all have to admit, Jenny. Don't you look wonderful?
Well, we're delighted with the dog. And delighted with Roy and Helen, who worked so hard on him. They really have. They brought him back.
And isn't it, I mean, when you see something like that, your heart can't, help but miss a beat. But when it's here and it's sunny and everything, just all the stars align.
Yes, it is. And we're upstairs in the restaurant because we have to go there because Bill can't really walk very much. So we go up to there. So we'll be in the restaurant again next week, I think, or whenever the next round is.
Fantastic. What's the food like?
Very good. Much better nowadays.
Could I ask you a favour? Could you arrange for them to send me down a sandwich?
You? I didn't have a sandwich. I had a very nice prawn cocktail to start with. You want to go up there?
I'll work my way up there later. But congratulations again. Wonderful supporters over the years, and you deserve every continued success. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Superb to hear from Jenny McCall again, and they'll be back next week in the restaurant. Super news. Tiffield Tarquin 6-4 second favoured in a time of 29.18. Beat Track 4 Sunnyside Broxy at 6-1, and Track 1 Barntick Bear at 5-4 favourite makes it through to round 3.
Proud sponsors of Gone to the Dogs.
It's wide open if you ask me. Cullen Alert, just the favourite here at 2-1, 9-4. Cracking man, off we go and race up towards the first bend. It's 5 Alan Gift down quick from 4 Blue Guna. After this comes Call Me Baby. They go round the first bend and round it. It's 4 Blue Guna going on with 5 Alan Gift. Alan Gift now out in front, Violet from Blue Guna. Then comes Call Me Baby as they head down towards the third bend. It's still Trap 5 Alan Gift in front, leading in. Call Me Baby challenging on the outside as they come off the final bend. It's Alan Gift and Call Me Baby after these. Comes Trap 4. Blue Guna up towards the line. Alan Gift pulls it out. Alan Gift has led throughout here for trainer Claude Gardner. And what a shot at around 16-1 on the board. This typifies this year's Greyhound Derby.
I do love watching all of the old derbies. You just get goosebumps with all the atmosphere and just reliving the memories, albeit I was 14 I think at that point. Right. Oh, don't forget about the Greyhound Racing Archive YouTube page as well, which Dave and Clive Lawrence have put together. There's plenty of races that can just get the goosebumps going again as you relive all the action from all different competitions as well, not just the Derby. Right, we're going to go back to Jason. He's caught up with Kevin Boothby.
Now I'm very pleased. I'm joined here by the main man who, judging by those glasses, Top Gun Maverick.
I love my glasses, just bought them actually, yeah, but it's a beautiful evening here at Toasted, Jason, so yeah, great racing ahead.
It is, of course, Kevin Boothby. Now, Kevin, let's just go back a few years. People didn't know where the home of the Derby would be. They certainly didn't know how much it would be run for. You took up the cudgels and, well, just look what we've enjoyed over the last few years.
Yeah, it's been fantastic. We've done it for the last 4 years. Obviously, it's challenging when we first did it during COVID and then coming out of COVID. And now, we can look forward to a great future. We've got it again this year and next year, and it's been fantastic. It's certainly been a journey.
It has certainly been a roller. Well, all the way to the Derby final week as an owner.
Yeah, as an owner, yeah. Bowden was proud in 2022, made a final, and the following year made a semi-final. So you can't beat it as an owner, to have that journey through the Derby.
And we all know that is where your passion is. You've got one runner tonight, 2 tomorrow. Bet Goodwin Ed. Actually showed a bit at the end of last week.
I think he's done the fastest sectional from the third bend coming home, and I was absolutely delighted with the dog. Diane's he's had a few issues with his grassless, but Diane seemed to have got on top of that and took it easy with him, sort of by sprinting him, strengthening him up. And last week he's absolutely stayed on like a train, which we was well impressed with. I'm well chuffed for the fellow owner Julian Allen from Bet Goodwin, are good lads, and it's named after Julian's son Ed. So. All we want is qualification,
and especially when you consider the two in front as well.
Yeah, I mean, you think proper areas. I mean, he must have been 14, 15 lengths behind over the back straight, and he's been beat 4 lengths. You know, it's an awesome one going clear to the drop, and you know, off a 4:36 sectional, he's still done 29.10. So, you know, we'd like to think you can find two or three lengths out of the boxes tonight, and he's, you know, but we'll take third now. You know.
And going forward to tomorrow, Clona Curly.
Yeah, Curly. Look, Curly won the Newcastle Puppy Cup for us 18 months ago, whenever it was. We set it up at 6 bends. He's not really enjoying the 6 bends, and we're bringing back the 4 bends now. So again, he's a similar style to like the likes of Bow and probably Ed. He ain't got the early, but he'll come run through beating dogs. So he's a qualifier. So again, with him, it'd be nice to see him come third.
Actually, talking about staying, you would have had a few more runners if it wasn't for the clash with the Golden Jacket.
Yeah, look, we was a bit unlucky last week in the Golden Jacket semi-final. We got regimental. He's sort of stopped at the pickle. But yeah, look, we had to go for the Golden Jacket, even though it'd be nice to bring all the team here.
And finally, tomorrow, Savannah Marapi.
Marapi, bless him, we bred him, so he's like he's a little monkey. He's made 2 Cat 1 finals. He's made the British Bred final and the British Bred comp at Oxford. He's only won 1 race. He's a bit of a strange boy. He chases dogs, but he's got ability. So again, after his complete rag of the competition, he's about 650 to 1, bless him. But look, we just enjoy Marapi and here to us pros.
You like a prize, Kevin.
We like a good prize chasing, yeah.
Kevin, you're an absolute superstar. What you've done over the years and continue to do, we can't help but thank you, and keep on doing it. Brilliant stuff.
Thanks, mate.
Great to hear and see, Kevin.
It is very, very tough. Delighted our Ballon and Boiler Joe in there. And then we get to 3. Ball Spots Blue. We've got Dynamic Force. Hello, Diego. I'm afraid we've got to be very quick. Out of those 3, if you had to pick one?
Oh, I couldn't. My heart rules my head. I'm just hoping they qualify.
Let's hope they all get through. Let's hope all 7 get through again.
Cheers.
Thank you so much, Susan.
Fantastic. Thank you.
Great to see Susan Hennessy at the track, and just to say, we know we had a slight tech issue there, but we should be back up and running, so thank you for being patient, all 1,500 people that are watching us on YouTube at the moment. Here is the parade for heat number 2. We've got Trap 1, Teddy, lovely little girl who never stops wagging that tail. She was a Brighton Bell semi-finalist. I thought she had a better draw today at 40 to 1. Could she spring a surprise? Trap 2, Da-La-Dee-Da, last year's champion, won in the fastest time of the first round last week, 28.50, but can he split with a 3.95 again? On to trap number 3, Table Toppers. The Blue Riband winner went unbeaten through that competition in January, was slightly troubled last week and only just qualified in 3rd behind Coolio Gold when he was forced to check. Trap 4 is Sole Choice, lost his maiden in Opens last week, and what a way to do it in round 1 of the English Derby. Trap 5, Lenny's Desire, impressed in the maiden derby and impressed me even more so last week when he dominated by almost 10 lengths in 28.58. And trap 6, Ballinabola Joe was KO'd in the first round of the Conan and Kirby Memorial, but he's back with a bang. He's had 2 wins. He put the fastest split on the board last week, 3:91, and 28:62 was the third fastest time of round 1. Here is Ballinabola Joe in action, 3:91 split. I mean, as soon as the paws hit the sand, he was away and gone.
Yeah, look, clears him into the bend, goes down the far side, opens up a big lead. I mean, I suppose you could argue when we get to the latter part of the race, he is just coming back to the field, isn't he? Barefoot on Fire is making rapid progress, but do we put that down to the fact that this greyhound's not had a huge amount of racing? He got knocked out, I think it was the early stage of the Kirby, but the overall time was good, as you say. That was a big improvement in what he's done. He's an unexposed type. We just don't know how good he might be, and that is the reason I'm putting my vote with Ballinabola Joe. You know, expectation that there is more to come.
I mean, I'd have loved to have gone with Da-La-Dee-Da, but as we spoke to Jason earlier on, he was the one that said, or quizzed us, didn't he, saying, how many times did Da-La-Dee-Da lead into the first bend last year?
Yeah, and obviously he knew the answer, which he hadn't done previously. So this run from last week, 3:95 split, will he reproduce it? We know he won in the first and the second round last year, so Liam has obviously got him trained to try and do the same, succeed in the first round. He had a lot of time off. He's not had much racing, has he, coming into this event?
No, he hasn't, but maybe he's one of those dogs that just doesn't need that much racing. Some dogs do, some horses do. You know, you look at Mr. Wagyu. I remember speaking to Sean Quinn, and he said he's just a horse that loves his racing. He wants to race every week, and if he could race every day, he would do.
Never thought that horse would get a mention in the Derby programme here tonight, but well done if anyone had money on that. 28:50 for Da-La-Dee-Da last week is the second fastest time ever at Toast. Only Barnett Bear's gone quicker. So that's what you're dealing with. You know, your champ's not just turned up and won a heat, he's turned up and absolutely smashed home in a ridiculously crazy time. And if he wins at 6-4 and you've backed something else, you'll be asking yourself, why?
I mean, there's plenty of people saying Da-La-Dee-Da back to win it outright before it romps in tonight. Might go a little bit shorter. Teddy each way way too big in this race. Could go each way at 50-1. Lenny's Desire will be clear at the first bend, says Doghouse Riley. Plenty of people commenting on the YouTube channel this evening. So we're having a bit of interaction, trying something new for the second round. Trap number 2, Da-La-Dee-Da, 6-4. Ballinabola Joe, though, was 9-4, 5-2 earlier on today, so he's the money dog. Yeah,
which I understand. And Lenny's Desire did open at 4s when the first show came in, now 3-1. Not as quickly away as the other two in the heat. Still did a very fast time, so it's come home much more effectively.
Gonna have to wait and see what happens, though. This is an absolute belter. I can't believe we're up to heat 2 already of the second round, but the last one is in. So let's go to PL.
Chris waves the flag, hair's on the move, stand by. And they're away and racing, and a flashy break from Ballinabola Joe, who goes straight to the front with that early dash. Oh, there's trouble in behind involving Soul Choice and Lenny's Desire, who have been knocked out of the race. And down the far side, it's Ballinabola Joe in a bit of a hurry here, some 5 lengths clear from Da-La-Dee-Da. Then a gap back to Teddy, who will be staying on as they turn for the judge. It's Ballinabola Joe, who's around about 3 lengths clear. Da-La-Dee-Da is closing him down, but won't get there. And Ballinabola Joe is the winner, and he is officially now known as the Fawn Flash for that man Brendan Murphy and Pat Buckley.
Is that a thing I've missed? The Fawn Flash is Ballinabola Joe. Honestly, he was KO'd in the first round of the Conan and Kirby Memorial. He's had 3 races back. One was an Open in Ireland. He's had 2 races over here, and he's absolutely dominated in both for Pat Buckley. So they've got him spot on for this comp.
Oh, so good to see him win. But what happens at the first bend here? 3, 4, 5 put out the race. Oh, yeah, just not turn left as table toppers. And has taken Soul Choice and Lenny's Desire out of the competition. Yeah. End of.
Commiserations to connections of those 3, but 28:80 is the time that Ballinabola Joe has recorded. You can see he does tie up ever so slightly, so it's whether or not in the the future rounds, is he going to get collared by?
And that's what happened last week. You know, he was coming home much slower than a lot of greyhounds, but, you know, he gets stronger. Pat's only got 2 in the competition. Unusually for him at this stage, he didn't have as big a team as he has done in the past. Just watching where they go, obviously 6 has come across a little bit there. Was that the right head on?
Yeah, I think
Yes, it was.
So, yeah.
But 6 has come across, yeah, which I think is what he did last week, cleared the field and then goes over. And, yes, it was just after that incident, after that head-on, wasn't it, that 3 and 4 and 5 all get taken out. Look, Delardi-Dar couldn't lead, but Delardi-Dar has run well, hasn't it? It's a kind of run you'd almost expect from Delardi-Dar to put himself into the race, to make progress safely through. I know these three were going to qualify anyway, but look, he's closing down the leader, wasn't going to quite get there. That's another great run from Liam's dog.
It certainly is, with Delardi-Dar, who's finished in 2nd, and Teddy has snuck through in 3rd place. Tell you what, last week she just did not stop wagging her tail from pretty much start to finish. It was fabulous. So she's a happy little girl once again, and we can see Pat Buckley with Ballinabola Joe, who's now 2 from 2 in the UK, and 28.80. Not quite as quick as last week, but we'll have to wait and see what the ground is doing today, because obviously it is beautiful weather, as you can see. So I think he's checking his social media, is Pat, on the way to the winners' podium to see. Yeah, knew he'd win. So well done, anybody who has backed Joe. There's quite a few people, I think, certainly on the YouTube channel. That's run well at Delardi-Dar. 621 had a saver TriCast get in for John. Had trouble written all over that race, says Tommy Tinkler. Well, there was a little bit of trouble, but I think it was more the fact that tabletoppers just didn't know how to turn left.
I mean, they say you need so much luck in the Derby. You don't just need luck to squeeze through sometimes and get an opening and squeeze a qualification place. Like, you need luck throughout. And, you know, you've got to feel for Connection to Soul Choice and Leonard's Today, because there was nothing those greyhounds could do. And I don't know why. I mean, probably if you ask Mark Wallace, he won't know why Tabletoppers decided he was going right, not left. But it just has happened, and those three are going home, unfortunately.
Thing is, as well, you just don't know what they see, what they catch out the corner of their eye. If he's just got distracted by something that he's just wanted to go and have a look at, you just don't know. So, yeah, commiserations with Connections of the three who are out. But that is Ballinabola Joe, the Fawn Flash, as we go back to Jason.
What a performance that was, Ballinabola Joe. To do that in that heat was something special. Just letting the photographers finish. Nash is doing his stuff. Out of the way, Steve. Pat, now last week, I think I said wow or something similar. I mean, you can times that by 3. That was something.
Yeah, to do it in that heat was, you know, he's improving certainly. Listen, he's going a long ways to go with Jason, so he won't get carried away.
What do you think about Mr. Paul Lawrence? Fawn Flash?
Yeah, he's as good as him, yeah. He's as good as Ballinabola, but, like, you know, we need to look here, you need to look anywhere. So he's potentially a real good dog, but he's just so little racing done. It's, you know, it's a big ask for him every night taking on those type of dogs.
But it's not just the speed and even the ability, really. This is a place you need to run right, and we've just seen that twice in 2 weeks.
Yeah, listen, he looks professional when he gets it right, and listen, hopefully now with him going the right way.
I think you have that. Now, I'd just like to, if I may, I'd love a word with Evine here, who gave you a massive hug afterwards, and quite rightly. Evine, would you like to, then the camera can see you, you're clutching onto that, and you were so happy after the victory.
Yeah.
And you love your greyhounds, obviously, and
yeah.
And Joe in particular.
Yeah.
I tell you what, it's an absolute charming thing. I tell you what, don't worry, because sometimes I've spoken to trainers and they've said a lot less than you have. You're a lovely girl. Thank you very much, and an absolutely wonderful, wonderful performance. Interesting to see what the market does after that for Ballinabola Joe.
Ballinabola Joe has won in Trap 6, 28.80, 7-4 second favourite, beats Delardi-Dar, 13-8 favourite, and Trap 1, Teddy, has got through for third at 33-1.
Bet Clever. Bet Goodwin. Proud sponsors of Gone to the Dogs.
Our thanks to Bet Goodwin, bringing you the show tonight of Gone to the Dogs Live. Now we're going to look back at a moment in history, or two actually, the 2000 and 2001 derbies won by Rapid Ranger.
Oh, that roar's picking up. The hair on the move then for the year 2000 William Hill Greyhound Derby final. £50,000 going to the winner, and all the spin-offs as well as we go. And racing up towards the first bend. Rapid Ranger is out fast from Deerfield Sunset. Then comes Barlow Clubbing on the inside. His racket all red. Jeffers to go around the first bend. There's trouble there in the bend between 5 Smoking Bullet and 6 Barlow Club down the far side. Rapid Ranger is leading the way here by a couple of lengths from Racket All Jet. And then comes one Deerfield Sunset. It's Rapid Ranger leading by 2 lengths from Racket All Jet. He's going to track 3 Racket All Jet. It's gone to a photo finish for 3rd, but Rapid Ranger did it precisely right at the track. The hair on the way then for this year's William Hill Greyhound Derby final. Get ready, get steady, because we're rocking and away we go. And up towards the first bend, trap 2 Rapid, trap 2 Canal Lands anyway. Fast for Rapid Ranger's going to lead into the first bend from Country White Town. It's Rapid Ranger away so fast again. Country White Town's in second. After these comes 2 Cast Line Danny. After these comes Sonic Flight. They're heading down the far side, and it's Rapid Ranger trying to get success again. He's leading from Country White Town's in second. Then comes Sonic Flight. But is it going to be Rapid Ranger's Derby again? What a performance! What a break trap for Rapid Ranger wins the William Hill Greyhound Derby final for 2001. A brave performance from Sonic Flight, but in the end, he wasn't good enough on the night.
Oh, wow. Rapid Ranger, I mean, that was just the 3rd dog in history to have gone for the double, and sensational.
I mean, it's Charlie just the Derby King. You know, all these years on, we talk about winning the Derby, but Charlie was the man, wasn't he? And for Ray White to do that twice with Rapid Ranger. And then, of course, it was only, another 4 years on, and Westmead Hawk win for the first time as well. So they came along in quick succession, those dual winners. And nothing since, of course.
No, nothing since, but Delardi Dar is still keeping the dream alive, which is good news because he has just gone through to the 3rd round. And he didn't win every round last year, so it's not an omen that he's not going to win it this year either. So hopefully he can just keep sneaking through the rounds. We're not a million miles away from our next. We've got the 746, which is heat number 3, full complement of 6, of course. And Dynamic Force is Jason's nap of the night. He's going with track 5, and both myself and Daryl with Hello Diego, the closer in the stripes. So Paul Hennessy, 3 of his dogs drawn in the same race. That's just some luck, isn't it?
Yeah, do you know what? He sent 7 into the Derby this year. All 7 have made it through to the 2nd round. He's got 3 in this heat, and he's got 2 in another heat tomorrow. But, of course, being as good as he is, and you know, I always think with Paul and Susan Hennessy that they go into the first round of the Derby. I won't say their dogs are undercooked, but you always expect Paul's dogs to improve round by round. So to do as well as he did last week tells us we should be very, very worried if we're trying to take them on.
So maybe we just go for a 3-5-6 combi tricast in this next race. You can see Trap 1, Droopy's Invent 10-1, 2, Scooby the Boss at 7-2, Trap 3, Boyle Sports Blue at 6-1. That's it. Jack in 4 at 16s, 5, Dynamic Force at 11-8, and 6, Hello Diego at 7-2. Bet good win prices, of course, for our races this evening. Now I think we are going to have a look potentially. Oh, we've got Jason. Where are you, Jason?
I tell you where I am, Danny. I am in the company of 3 of the most pleasant people you will ever meet in your life. Now, first of all, we've got...
I'm Jade.
Hello, Jade.
I'm Kenny.
Hello, Kenny. And... You're Glenn. Glenn Hawkins. Now, here's Ringo. This is a story and a half. How many dogs have you had ever?
He's my 4th one that I've trained.
And you pretty much, you were just telling me, have one on the go at a time, really?
Yeah, we're at Walthamstow Track with my dad. For about 3 years, between 12 and 15, I was on the terrace with him 3 times a week, watching him catch up on the last race. And we thought it'd be really nice to... We did get a Greyhound when he was on his deathbed, so we got her, and she never raced. So a few years later, we did get a pup, and sadly she died. And then we got Battered Broccoli. And Koki, her name is, and she did really well. She won 4 from 7, but because I was a bit inexperienced, she picked up some injuries. She ran with those injuries, and then she broke a stopper bone, which is a bit sad.
So she retired, and then we had a pup growing with John Mullins, and we went and saw her every week. Her name's Coral, and she had some incidents as well, but she won an Open at age 4, and then we retired her and thought, OK, well, we'll try with Ringo instead.
Well, it's such a wonderful story. Here's Ringo. You're in the second round of the Derby. Very quickly, I'm afraid we've only got 30 seconds to say this. You've got Salad Dodger at home as a pet.
Yes, yeah, we took him in 2020. I got a random phone call saying, Glenn, I need some help. You don't know me, but my dog needs looking after temporarily while he was poorly, and then it transpires we still have him now.
It's a brilliant story. I really dearly hope you get through so I can talk to you again next week. You're all wonderful. I picked up an accent, Lowestoft, right? There you are then. That's the Hockings, and we wish them every success.
We do, and great to hear that Salad Dodger found his forever home as well on such a wonderful sofa, because if you didn't know already, I tipped him up for William Hill. Also heard from Derek Hope of William Hill, he is doing some in-trading, in-play, outright betting updates. There you go, 16s into 12s for Ballinabola Joe, Delardy Dar unchanged at 10-1, he's just told me, so have a look at those. Right, I tell you what we'll have a look at. Dynamic Force, this is from last week.
Yeah, I mean, lovely run to the bend, great pace up, but obviously everything else has got across. So it's a clean run for Paul Hennessey's charge, and obviously after this, you know, he's not going to be caught. He does a decent enough time, bearing in mind it was his second run after a break of, what, nearly 3 months. So a typical Paul Hennessey greyhound maybe going into the Derby first round. I get why he's favourite. What I don't get is why Hello Diego, the kennel mate, is such a bigger price in comparison, almost twice the price, and that is why I have to be with Hello Diego, as much as I totally understand Dynamic Force's chances here, purely on price. And Hello Diego's, you know, typical of a lot of greyhounds we've seen from Paul Hennessey in the past. Strong dogs that you think are going to, you know, keep on progressing. And look, he's lightly raced, of course. He won the Maiden Derby. He knows this track well already. 4 runs, 3 wins here. 3-1 just looks too inviting, Danny.
I could not agree more. Now, this is the parade. Droopy's in vent for Seamus Cahill. Just missed out on the Moore Puppy Derby final spot, but did well to qualify in a hot race last week behind Cheap Sandwiches. We move on to Trap 2, Scooby the Boss, who was the Kent Plate finalist. Lost the UK maiden tag here, but just held last week when finishing strongly by Slick Sentinel. He was second by a head. Boyle Sports Blue, the Irish Juvenile Derby finalist, overcame a lot of trouble last week to qualify. He's the first there, you can see, of Paul Hennessey's runners at 5-1. Trap 4, that's it, Jack. Reached round 3 of the Irish Derby. Could he do the same in the English one? And he snuck through last week after a bit of early crowding behind Lenny's Desire, who, unfortunately, is now out of the Derby. Trap 5, Dynamic Force, is the favourite at 13-8. Been mixing it with top company in Ireland and won in a quick time of 28.86 last week. The going was normal, of course, last Friday. And Trap 6, the third of the Paul Hennessey contingent in this race. Hello Diego, loves it here, impressive off the pace in the Maiden Derby. Just needs to sit a little handier to really make his presence felt, I think, against some early paced types. And I think that's why he's probably just that price at 3-1, because I think Dynamic Force is going to go off like a rocket, and as we see here, he does have to work hard. Yeah, he got crowded into the bend. He steers quite a wide path, but he does show some really good pace going down towards the 3rd and 4th bends, and, you know, starts to make a major impact. TJ's Chums is going to hold him off again. He's quite wide, isn't he? But he really is picking up, and if we were to carry on and show this, you know, the other side of the line, he's clearing away towards the pickup. So he's very strong. If he's within striking distance, then, you know, you've got a live ticket. And 11-4, still a fair price, but the 4s or 7-2 earlier on was just much too big. So we've got a few comments on the YouTube channel. Tommy Tinkler, Droopy's in vent for me, should get a nice clear run. Michael Hayden, away and gone at Trap 5. Ian Langford, I thought 2's got a dream draw here. Trap 2 for me if he breaks with Harry. Outside of the tracks pretty quick, says Marco 4863, so I'll take Hello Diego. Waterford Declan Portlaw again with Hello Diego, but Jay Stevens thinks that track 4 is a big price at 18-1. Keep your comments coming, guys, but do keep them clean. We do have someone with a very quick delete button. So, be good, be good. They are on the infield. I mean, Toaster, I think we've had 5 nights so far. We're about to, sorry, 4 nights so far. One was Baltic, the rest have been very balmy, I think, Darryl.
Yeah, which you just don't know what you're going to get at Toaster, but we knew it would be a dry day, we knew it would be relatively light winds, temperatures are still pleasant out there. It was 19, 20 earlier. I doubt it's dropped by more than 2 or 3 degrees. It's still probably a nice evening. You know, no scarves required this evening for the reporter. Seamus Carhill's done well. He had 5 in the first round. He had to take 1 out midweek, unfortunately.
Yes.
But he's still got 4. He's got Droopy's Invent 9 to 1. You know, that could be a big price for some to qualify. Lightly raced ground, who will be plugging on, might be able to find a place to split the Hennessy team here. You never know.
You never know, stranger things have happened. We have got the next race coming up. They are about to go in for Heat 3 of Round 2 of the Star Sports and TRC English Greyhound Derby. Our thanks, of course, to Star Sports and Toaster Racecourse for staging this year's English Greyhound Derby 2025. And if you are new to the channel, this is Gone to the Dogs Live, brought to you this evening by Bet Goodwin. Favourite, trap number 5, Dynamic Force. That's Jason's nap, but me and Darryl are against him with Hello Diego.
Hare's on the move then. Hare runs, stand by. And off and racing, and the first to show Scooby the Boss, but better early pace from That's It Jack, and Dynamic Force rather missed the kick and is now trying to work into the contest. Up front it's 4, That's It Jack, with now Dynamic Force sweeping round the outside to master That's It Jack into the 3rd turn. Then comes Scooby the Boss in behind these, then comes Ball Sports Blue looking for a way through. At the back of the pack is also Hello Diego as they swing for home now. It's Dynamic Force that's got to the front, Scooby the Boss in 2nd, and running on late in the day was Hello Diego to qualify in 3rd. Dynamic Force had to work hard for the victory, but his class took him to the front and he saw it out nicely enough.
Well, that's one nap in the bag with Jason Beresford, who has got Dynamic Force into the winner's circle, beats into 2nd. That's It Jack for Dean Blackbird, and 6 Hello Diego has done a lot of running late doors to finish 3rd. And I said to you at this point, he makes you hold your breath. Hello, Diego.
He does. I mean, he's managed to get a nice run round them, hasn't he? Scooby the Boss absolutely pinged. That's It Jack in the black was showing good pace to the corner. But, look, Dynamic Force, we know now why he was such a strong order. That was a good run in the heats, coming back, 3rd run after a break. Hello, Diego. I'm thinking he's going to qualify, and he does. He eventually goes through. So Paul Hennessy's got 2 of his 3 through, and one under Dean Blackbird, who's qualified. That's It Jack as well. There they are. 3's going right across. Other than that, fairly straight.
Yeah, fairly straight, haven't they? 29.16 the time, so I don't know if the track might be on the touch on the slow side. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think you could say that from the previous heats. That's about 30 spots slower than the dog did last week. Ballinbullow Joe was about 20 spots slower, and Tiffield Tarkin was about 40 spots slower. So you've got to say it's possibly minus 20 at the moment.
OK,
it's
so...
just an opinion.
Well, I think it's always an opinion, the going, isn't it?
yeah.
So may as well chuck yours in. Trap 5, Dynamic Force through to next week from That's It Jack, who was overpriced at 14-18 to 1, and 6 Hello Diego has got through in 3rd. So commiserations to the inside trio. Droopy's Invent, Scooby the Boss and Boyle Sports Blue are out of the Derby. Now, next week or the week after is when it starts to get really interesting as well, because we've got all the other competitions that come through, you know, the Derby Plate and the Puppies and the Juveniles and the Champion. It's all kicks off in a couple of weeks as well.
Yeah, nobody wants to be in the Derby Plate. Let's make that abundantly clear. It's the competition you do not want to be in, but when your dog exits in the first 3 rounds, that's the criteria. It's a great consolation race to go for. And, of course, the great thing about this is if you get knocked out of the Derby Plate, there's always another race for you on finals night.
There is, because we'll have a full complement of 14 races on Derby final night, culminating in the Durando Marathon. Of course, there is, I was going to call him Billy Boyle then, Billy Brennan in the middle of the Toaster Oval, getting his social media stuff out for Star Sports. Because I believe Emily Wallace, who normally does it, is on a news day at university. She's coming to the end of her 3rd year, so she's a very, very busy girl. Woman. We have got our next race will be up at 8:06. I can't believe we're already on or have done and dusted heat number 3. It's quite remarkable. But Paul Hennessy with Dynamic Force through. There he is, heading to the podium. I thought he was going to the podium. Maybe not. Maybe he's not going to the podium.
He'll be pleased enough with that, won't he? Because when you've got 3 in the same heat, and, you know, you're thinking it could go disastrously wrong, couldn't it? But 2 out of 3, as someone once said, ain't bad.
Meatloaf. I was at the wrong dog, clearly. So here is Dynamic Force with everybody else, and I'm sure Jason will get a word out of the child there as well. Mick Keneally, of course, our general manager at Toaster, he has resumed control of Toaster once again. I think he was here a few years ago. Was it the 2021 Derby, maybe? 2022? Maybe something like that. I know he was in a few years ago anyway, was Mick, so he's back, always looking very dapper as we go back to Jason.
Wow, what a performance. Dynamic Force by name, Dynamic Force by nature.
I'd love to see it again, Jason. It's all a blur, but yeah, having 3 in the same race, it's so difficult because you don't know who to watch. But I don't think any of ours broke tonight. But fair play to him. He's getting the run. He's getting the hang of this place, and he ran superb. We're thrilled, and we're thrilled then with Diego to qualify as well. Just yeah, great. We're in the draw.
Diego did what Diego does, really.
Yeah, he comes with that late swoop down the bottom 2 bends. His owner in Galway will be up to 90, but Brendan and Ian, I'm sure, are cheering back home. This is their pride and joy, so he's after giving them another great night.
And the thing is, after last week, if you like, went to the front, did it, you know, how you meant to, as you say, didn't come out, but then to do that, and again, I keep saying it tonight, to that field, it's incredible.
Absolutely, he's determined. He's very determined. He's a strong runner, and as you saw last week, he can break. Look, it's fantastic. We just wanted to qualify. He did it in style, and we're there for next week, and well done to the owners. I'm sure they'll get a great kick out of this week.
As they should, and well, whenever you come here with your owners, you're always such a affable, lovely bunch, and you deserve every success. Thanks.
Well, it's such a fantastic place, and it's hard not to be, and we're great. It's lovely to be competing and to be there, and it's wonderful. Well done, Toaster.
Thank you very much.
Cheers.
Here is the results of heat number 3. Dynamic Force in a time of 29.16, 11-8 favourite. Beat That's It Jack in 4 at 25-1. And Trap 6, Hello Diego, 11-4 qualifies for next week in 3rd.
Bet Goodwin, proud sponsors of Gone to the Dogs. Bet Clever, Bet Goodwin.
Our thanks to Bet Goodwin for bringing you Gone to the Dogs live here on YouTube this evening, live from Toaster in our brand new studio as well. Right, we are going to roll back the years to before the millennium, 1999.
The hare's on the move, get ready for the action, and away we go, and racing up towards the first bend, Frisbee full track down in front, here comes Jarking on this near side, what do you feel, Sunset with a pitch as well as they go around the first bend, Frisbee full gets round in front, ahead of Trap 6 Jarking, after he's got 1, Deerfield Sunset and 4, Steve Crystal, Pure Patches was knocked over the first bend, Deerfield Sunset's coming with a run on the inside, Jarking's got his head in front, but Deerfield Sunset pressing in now, as they come round the final bend, it's Jarking out in front, Deerfield Sunset trying to close, but Jarking is won the Greyhound Derby for 1999. What a performance! He didn't lead. He was led up by Frisbee Full. What determination! Ralph and Carl Hewitt must be ecstatic at the moment as Jarking wins the 1999 William Hill Greyhound Derby final. What a performance! What a Greyhound! He's won the Scottish Derby. He's won the English Derby. He's broken track records at Shelbourne Park in the Easter Cup when he won that. He's a competition Greyhound through and through.
It's always funny when I listen to the commentaries when the pitch is going higher and higher and higher, Darryl, because you just have to kind of rein it in a little bit before you peak, don't you?
Errol just had a way of delivering those, didn't he? I mean, you know, you watch those back, what's that, 25, 26 years ago, and it just all comes alive again, and you... hairs on the back of your neck, the old cliche or whatever, but he just had a way of delivering a derby commentary.
He really, really did. And, of course, you can catch them all on YouTube these days as well. So make sure you do check out that channel as we go back to Jason.
Now, I think I have got Greyhound Racing's equivalent of Morecambe and Wise with me here. Mike Burton.
Yeah, which one would I be then, Ernie?
I think, considering who you're with, you'll be Wise. And Pat Godfrey.
Oh, good evening. How are you?
For those that don't know, we have this little badinage each year. Mike, Droopy's Aladdin, well, didn't need the rubber things to demolish them last week.
Yeah, he got away, and we've always been aware of his early, but whether he can do it again every week, you know, is a different thing. So we're hopeful. We think we've got every chance of making it to the third round, which is, I believe, it really starts. The derby starts next week. We get to the third, and we've got every chance to assess where you really are then, truthfully.
Well, there's lots of different markets, and it's currently his favourite to be top pup. You almost forget how young they are sometimes. How's he been last week?
Yeah, he came out of the race very well, and he had a sprint at Nottingham a couple of weeks ago, and from then, I can see him growing all the time. All the years he's been a puppy, we've had him a long time actually, and I've seen him grow up from like 30 kilos to he's up around 32 now, and he's well in himself. So I'm expecting a good performance from him.
Thanks for that. Now, you two are going to be in opposition in Heat 6. And, Pat, Arthur Job, more Puppy Derby finalist.
Yeah, that surprised you, doesn't it? Yeah, it's a nice dog. It's half-brother to a dog I got called Cornflake, Arthur Cornflake, who was in the Irish Derby last year, who went lame last week, unfortunately, in the heat here. But, yeah, he's a nice... like Mike's, he's a pup, he's improving. He hasn't got the early pace that Mike's got. Aladdin, but he's similar to Superstar in a way. You know, they'll both be finishing, I think.
Oh, I think they will. And as Pat mentions, you've got a Droopy Superstar in the race.
Yeah, he's been one of those. We're finding out of him as he's gone along. He's September 22. I've had him a little bit longer, and he hasn't shown that. There's a break in him, but he's not a consistent early runner. He does find his way around pretty well, and I'm expecting him to qualify. I'd say this, like, he's been funny all week, you know. I'm in the paddock with him, he plays games, he's an intelligent, articulate sort of dog, and I'd watch out for him. I think he's in for a big run this afternoon.
And we'll be a bit of a... How about the forecasting? Can we have the forecast as well with Arthur Job in there?
Well, you're very welcome to it. Whether you'll get it or not is another thing.
Now, Pat, is it like the last 6 years you've had a run a Derby final night?
I have, apart from last year. Last year was the first I hadn't had for a long time. So hopefully I'll be able to get something on the... I like Derby finals now. It's a good night, good crack, good atmosphere. So hopefully I'll get something on the card. I'll have to rustle something up. But if I'm not in the Derby final, which I highly expect to be, then we'll be in one of the supporting opens.
Mike, a few years ago, I was speaking to Pat on Derby final night, and he said, "I'll see you on the podium later." Yeah. And I said, "Why? You're presenting a prize?"
Yeah, rude.
Rude. It's over the top, really.
Rude, isn't it?
It's right.
Pat and Mike, Greyhound Racing's Morecambe and Wise.
Now, we've got, it's a different glass, Jason. We've got Heat 4, vacant trap 3, Ballybone Nuts. Won't be on the sidelines for too long, I've heard from connections, but he is out of this year's Derby. He's picked up a little niggle since last week. Favourite, March on Freddie, 10-11, 2-1 trap 5, Slick Sentinel, 6-1 Antigua Kestrel, 8-1 Ballymac Peb, Slovakia Sennen at 25-1. We are going to have a look at Slick Sentinel in action. Was in Heat 20 on Friday.
Yeah, came out of 6, paces up well. He's going to cut in, but only when clearing the field, and obviously open to plenty of improvement, Pat Jansen's ground, because he's only just come back onto the card. He's missed most of the year, but, you know, he's got plenty of form round here. He's had 20-plus runs. He's won nearly 50%, and I just thought he was slightly better value than March on Freddie. We'll come to March on Freddie in a moment. Other reasons I want to take on March on Freddie, but yeah, look, he runs this trap well. He doesn't win so many from 5, but he did clock, I think, one of his fastest times from 5 earlier on this season.
So that is a good omen. We're going to have a look at March on Freddie as well. Of course, he was the Puppy Classic winner. He was running on very strongly last week. There's been whispers that maybe people don't think he's a toaster dog, but he's one of those. I heard from Dave Mullins last year that he just gets better with every run around a venue.
Look, we want to see him do well. He was an Irish Derby semi-finalist. He's an absolute superstar for George Watson and David Mullins, but here, you know, he's got into a little bit of trouble. He was slowly away, showing a bit of eye-catching middle, and then he starts to pick up, and he's very strong coming home. I mean, go the other side of the line, and he's powering away. But You know, will he get that important run at the right time? The market is all over him. It's got odds on now, Danny. He was 5-4, 11-8 earlier in the day, so the belief is still there with the punters. And look, so love to see him get through, but I'm with Slick Sentinel.
OK, you're with Slick Sentinel, but you wanted to have a look at another look at the head-on for Suleika's Sennen. Why?
Yeah, just because this is trap 2 in the first round. Just have a look where this greyhound goes, coming out, and is going to spin to the outside or to the middle. Wants to go lane 3, lane 4 even. Obviously drawn in 1, and Tiga Kessler actually drawn in 2 tonight. Is probably going to be moving in, so they may not do each other any favours, although I think the likelihood is that 1 will be more you know, pushing towards the 2 than the other way round. But they may not help each other. 3's vacant. Ballymac Peb should move in. In theory, that gives 5 and 6 a nice run through, in theory.
In theory. Doesn't always go to plan. They don't always read the scripts, and I'm kind of hoping they don't, because I really was taken with Ballymac Peb last week. He did a lot of running late doors to beat Prince Nazim by a length. He was not the best into stride, 4.22 split. I mean, if he does that again, he's got a big job on his paws once more, but he's only August 23. He's only a baby.
Look at the price.
I know. So I'm up for that, 12-1, all over it. Suleika's Sennen here then, reached second round last year. Can he make it one step further? Well, as long as he sticks to his racing line. Trap 2, Antigua Kestrel was the Eclipse finalist, reached the second round last year. Again, can he go one better? Well, we'll have to wait and see what Suleika's Sennen has to say about that. But the tail is going, so he's up for it. Trap 3 vacant, Trap 4... Ballymac Peb, puppy with a potentially big future. He won well last week. He was my highlight of the week last week. I just thought this lad could go far for Liam Dowling, and he wouldn't have put him in the derby if he didn't think he had a chance. Trap 5, Slick Sentinel, loads of speed early. He just held on last week from Scooby the Boss. He's the Star Sports biggest loser in the anti-post book, is this lad right here. And then Trap 6, March on Freddie. I had the pleasure of calling him home in the Puppy Classic at Nottingham last year. He reached the Irish Derby semi-final, did a lot of running, as we just saw in the heats last week, behind Sole Mio, who was one of the 6-1 winners, and put Ian Fortune at the top of the Naps table. And he only went down by half a length. How are you doing in the Naps table?
Well, I've had 2 of the first 3 tonight, and I was kind of 50p minus, I think, so, I don't know, hovering, I'd say threateningly, but not, you know, when Ian Fortune is on top, you're thinking, goodness me, you know, but it's early days.
It is, yeah, we've got plenty of rounds to go, so hopefully I can claw myself up from the bottom. Ballymac Peb, come on! Hopefully we can get a winner, but 6 March on Freddie, 5 to 6. He's very short for a dog.
It's amazing the way the market has gone. I mean, he hasn't won in 3 at Toaster. I know, obviously, one of those was in the juvenile and things just didn't happen for him. By the way, we should point out that poor old Trap 5 only had 1 winner in the first round.
Yeah.
Bearing in mind there was something like 18 vacant traps.
Yes, of course.
But of course, Trap 5 has won twice tonight. The other winner's gone with 6. So should we be looking... is the market telling us that, actually, the outside's going a little bit better, or is that a false statement to be making? It's too early in the day, and more fancied dogs perhaps have been drawn to the outside, and we shouldn't get carried away by the first 3 results.
Just going to have to wait and see, I think, how it all plays out. I mean, just looking at a few comments on the old, I was going to say Twitter then, but it's not YouTube. William Henderson says, can't see 6 winning here. CG25, can't see Freddie getting beaten.
They should get together, shouldn't they?
Yeah, and see how they go from there. I said, sorry, I can't say I think Freddie's a toaster dog, but I took the 66-1 months ago, so please get through. From Isle of Oxford 1. William Henderson, Trap 5, good value. Ian Langford, he's like me, how can 4 be 12-1? I don't know. Well, he's not anymore. He's 8-1, so there's a little bit of shrewd money down. It's not mine.
Patrick Janssens, by the way, who runs Slick Sentinel, he got 8 of his 9 through in the first round. He is now the trainer, or going into this second round, with the most runners. Graham Holland, sorry, Maxie Knock had 11 to start with.
Yep.
But now, Pat Janssens with 9, and Graham Holland with 9. Sorry, Graham Holland with 7. I'll get it right now.
Are you okay, Darryl?
No, they both had 9. They both had 9. OK, so, yeah.
Too many numbers on one
Too many
page.
figures. Just throw these numbers away. Drive yourself mad.
The thing is, though, you can drive yourself mad with stats just looking for bets as well, can't you? I do that sometimes, and we both write the columns for At the Races, and I try and go a bit statsy sometimes, and then you can drive yourself mad and then end up with 3 losers anyway for me. But
you can. I always think when you're betting on the Derby, I mean, if I've got any advice, it would be, you know, do as much research as you can, look at as many things, listen to as many people, but be sure who you're going to bet sometime before the race. Now, obviously, if a dog suddenly is 10 to 1, you think is 5 to 1, go and have a saver.
Yeah.
But have an opinion in your mind. Don't be like thinking, oh, who do I want to back? I want to back Freddie, I want to back Sentinel. Because you'll end up just going, I'm on the wrong one, I should have been on that one. So I want to know who I want to be on well ahead of the Derby. Being prepared to, add an extra saver if the price has gone crazy on something else.
Wise words.
Not about wise, but... That Slick Sentinel, perhaps a little disappointing, having turned as close as he did. He seems to take a little while to get round the bend. He may well have held on for qualification. It's really tight, isn't it, with Antigua Kestrel? But look, March on Freddie now starts to thunder into the race. And for those of us, and, you know, I wasn't sure. I consider myself maybe one of the doubters even going into this race in his Toaster form. He does all right at Toaster. He's mastered it tonight, that's for sure.
28.94.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that, is there?
Not from off the pace. Certainly not. So here's the head-on, which is always key. You can see that Senan comes right out of the boxes. Even Antigua Kestrel's moved off. The puppy's gone in a bit. 5 and 6, Sentinel and Freddie, both stuck to their racing lines like the pros they are. But Slaker's Senan definitely doesn't want a rails tag for me.
No, but difficult, of course, because he probably doesn't want to be drawn in 5 as a middle as well, and that's the dilemma, isn't it? So, obviously, still time, I think, for these seedings to be adjusted if the authorities see necessary. I don't know whether that's necessarily a story here for Saleka Senan, but he was able to get his run, but March on Freddie, you know, was quite enough in the market through the day, really, 5 to 4, 11 to 8. There was not particularly strong support, but it came, didn't it, the money, sent off odds on, and... it was shrewd money. But who's got third, Danny? Who's got third?
I think it's 5. I think it's Slick Sentinel. I don't think there's any doubt. No doubt.
You're probably right. I'm still not certain, but...
There's no doubt for me there. But I have been wrong in the past. 6...
I'm just giving hope to those on Antigua Kestrel. Just prolonging it for a bit longer.
False hope. We have got March on Freddie, who is about to head towards the winner's podium. I was going to say circle then, but we don't have a circle. We have a rectangle with the podium in it. And just looking at any of the comments, quite a few people have had... quite a few... Comments about it. Sorry, we had a bit of a frozen page again. So.
Yeah, I'm sure there'd be viewers at home who might well have had all 4 winners because they were all findable, weren't they? 2 second favourites and a couple of favourites. You could be easily sitting on a 4-timer.
I mean, we're doing pretty well at the moment. We are about to probably go down to Jason at some point. March on Freddie flew home. Go on, Freddie. Why couldn't you do that last week, Freddie? Yeah, quite a few people were on him last week, I know that, at short odds. But he's done it this week. He's silenced some of the doubters, I think, and he has won well. So Mick Keneally giving the trophy once again to Connections of March on Freddie. And we can join Jason shortly. Here we go.
Incredible performance, good family, exceptional performer. Both Julie and Martin.
Oh.
It's such a pleasure to see you again, Julie.
Thank you.
You know, I remember us sitting on the steps at Sittingbourne many years ago.
Yeah.
And you were training brilliant dogs then, or I think your husband has something to do with it. And still, just success all this is, and this guy is something special.
Yeah, he is special. He's like... This isn't, I don't think, his ideal track, to be honest with you, but if he keeps qualifying, you know, you never know. It's just hopefully he keeps qualifying and keeps fit. And
he's certainly one of those who, if you're on anything else in front and he's looming large, you're worried.
Yeah. I mean, I think he can afford to miss his break and still come from behind, where some of the dogs can't. But it's always still getting around the first bend without trouble and getting a clear passage afterwards, really.
And how's the old man? Where's he tonight?
He's at Romford.
I thought he was moping because Arsenal have had such a wretched season.
No. That's not bad. It hasn't been that bad.
Really? That certainly wasn't bad. Brilliant March on Freddie, and thanks so much.
All right, thank you.
March on Freddie, 28.94, 8 to 11 favourite, beats the Lakers Sennen in second at 20 to 1. 5 Slick Sentinel was third at 3 to 1 and makes it through to round 3.
Bet clever, bet good win. Proud sponsors of Gone to the Dogs.
Bet good win, bet good win, bet good win.
Cross for a clean run race. Favourite Tom's the best in 4. The winner of last year's Irish Derby, trying to get the English Derby under its belt as well. Will it do it? Let's find out very shortly. Here comes the hare and away they go. Tom's the best. Gets a slight bump there out by 5. Jasper's Boy. It's Honour and Glory showing up early with Tuesday's Davy as they go around the first bend. Honour and Glory didn't turn the corner. It's now last Tuesday's Davy in front. Look where Tom's the best is. It's now a formality because Tom's the best is out in front from Tuesday's Davy back in second. There comes Tullamore Cash for third. Tom's the best with Tuesday's Davy hanging on bravely to its quarters as they come around the final bend. It's Tom's the best rapidly going away now. Tom's the best creates history. He wins the 1998 Greyhound Derby. Tuesday's Davy back in second place. It's a photograph for third.
Now, please make sure you support our sport if you haven't already. Sign the petition for Keep Welfare on Track. We are trying to get a statutory levy from the bookmakers so that we can secure the funding for years to come for greyhound welfare and just to put it back into the sport as well, just to make sure that everybody can get a secure future with the statutory levy. Just sign the petition. You can find these kind of posters. There's I was going to say billboards, there's leaflets, there's all sorts. Use that QR code. It takes you straight to the petition. Sign it, pass it along to your friends, and make sure that you do so, because we need it up to the 10,000. I think prior to today we had 4,000. I just looked before the show, just shy of 4,000. So we're getting there, but we do need the numbers to make sure we can get it in front of Parliament. Right, we have got our next race coming up in the not too distant future. Droopy's Bookham in 1, 11 to 4. Droopy's Aladdin, 4 to 5 in 2. Killiford Gorham, 6 to 1 in 3. Droopy's Maximus, 10 to 1 in 4. Flashing Fender, 18 to 1 in 5. And Brinkley's Louis at 20 to 1 in Trap 6. So Heat 5 is coming up in the not too distant future. I was trying to think about what time it was. Yeah, 8 minutes to go. We're whizzing through, Darryl.
We're flying through them, and are we starting to feel sympathy for the bookmakers at this stage, Danny? We've had two strong favourites. Next three are going to be odds on. This is Droopy's Aladdin, isn't it? And this was an exceptional run, wasn't it, to beat Proper Heiress? And, you know, we all questioned afterwards about Proper Heiress's performance, which nothing wrong with it at all, in defeat to finish within a length and a half. But Droopy's Aladdin, bearing in mind how young he is, 28.76, exceptional run, really good split time. I've napped him, you've napped him. You know, we're not finding a greyhound that everyone else is going to miss. He's going to be short, of course he was odds against, I think, briefly, maybe with one or two firms, but what's he going to be, twos on, that kind of price, I think, when the show comes in?
Yeah, possibly, but hopefully he can do it again. I mean, the surprise for me last week out the boxes was Killiford Gorham in this race, because 3.95 split. I'd be surprised to see that again.
Yeah, I think you'd have to say that is probably unlikely. He did stay on, though. I mean, massive run with Bocco's Diamond, and, you know, you think he's going to have his sort of moment in the sun, Killiford Gorham, he's going to drop away, but he kept going. He's a six-bend dog over at Sunderland. I think someone said he's never done that at Sunderland, but he's there, isn't he? And that was a step forward, and he's one of the veterans. There's a few veterans in the competition, or he will be in a few weeks' time. He's a June 21, but great for Dean Blackbird to have him potentially as a... Who knows, as a dog in the last 48.
Droopy's Bookham. Now, we interviewed Tom Halebron. The podcast is out today. He's Tom's main hope of a winner. He held his own, I think, with JT Craze last week from just off the pace. He was in box number 1.
Yeah, he gets shuffled back, squeezed into the corner. He has to start working, you know, down the far side. He gets the Rowells run. He's going to make a little bit more trouble as they go down to the fourth bend as well, but he will find a qualification route off the final turn, just squeezing up, nowhere to go there, can't get up the fence. Plan C, if not Plan D. But he's got himself through for Tom, and Tom's a great supporter. We love the fact, you know, such a travelling trainer, isn't he? You know, he's at Romford, was at Crayford for a while with his dogs. You know, Have Dog will travel, so we wish Tom the very best of luck.
He's got two in here as well. He's got Brinkley's Louis. One of those things, if he manages to get a clear run, I think he'll stick it to Droopy's Aladdin, but I do think Droopy's Aladdin just has that little extra in the tank, and from what we saw last week, I know we kind of both read it the same way, didn't we? Droopy's Aladdin is going to come out, potentially cut across to the rail. Droopy's Bookham should give him all the space.
You would like to think so. 4 to 5, actually, 8 to 11 now, just gone 8 to 11. I thought might have been a bit shorter even Aladdin, but I guess the presence of Droopy's Bookham is keeping that price fairly square about the two. 15 to 8. You know, there'll be a lot of people who want to back Droopy's Bookham, and I can quite understand that as well. So, hey, look at the betting here. They're dominating, aren't they? 12 to 1. Something else has got to qualify. At least one of the ground's got to qualify. But, you know, if you think there have been too many favourites and we're due a big price winner here, a big upset, you could back 2 or 3 of those at big prices and try and take on the top of the market.
Especially with the fact that the outside have been doing so well. So this might be the indicator as to how the track is really running, because we've got the two fancied runners on the inside. We've had all the other fancied runners kind of out deep. So it'll be interesting to see what happens in this race, because Droopy's Bookham, there he is, Tom's main hope of a winner. He held his own, as we saw in the VT last week with JT Craze, got into a little bit of bother, but only went down by a length in the end. Trap 2 is the puppy. One of 2 puppies, actually, is a July 23 son of Serene Ace out of Droopy's Natalia. Won and beat Proper Heiress, took a big scalp last week, and could be far more to come from this exciting type. Trap 3, Killiford Gorham surprised everyone out the traps last week, but does need to do that again, I think, if he's in with a chance of pegging back the 2 on the inside. Trap 4, Droopy's Maximus for Richie Taberner. Found trouble in all 3 runs here. Won both of his races at Monmore, but still only lightly raced. There's Trap 5, Flashing Fender, the other puppy, August 23. Son of Ballymac Best out of Ballymac Ariel. He's still a maiden, he's very young, and he wasn't beaten far, just 3 1/4 lengths last week behind Soleil Mio. And Trap 6, Brinkley's Louis. He's the loony in the kennel for Tom Halebron. He reached the Laurels semi, and he stayed on last week to clinch 3rd behind Fay Point Harvey. He has the draw this week as well. I thought maybe looking at it and looking how the track's running, 1-2-6 in a kind of combi trichotomy. Well, 2-1-6, I guess I'd go.
Yeah, you could play that. I mean, I'm just trying to look at the results so far. The eyes will be drawn to the fact we've had 2 5s and 2 6s, but Teddy qualified at a big price in Trap 1. Yeah. We've just seen Suleika Sennen qualified at a big price in Trap 1, and Deladidar did all right from Trap 2. I don't think there's a bias. I think there's been more dogs to the outside that are fancied, and it will be a big surprise if we don't see whether it's 1 beating 2 or 2 beating 1, but both through in the top 2 spots, and then it's whoever you think can qualify for third. There was a bit of money floating around for Gorham, I noticed, at big prices earlier today. Of course, Dean Blackbird's already qualified. That's it, Jack, which was rather unexpected, and we've talked about how well this dog ran at 50 to 1. I'd probably put the 3 in as my third pick here, so now I'm looking at the inside 3 in this race.
I know. All right, so you're with the inside 3 and I'm with 1, 2 and 6. We'll see who's right. Hopefully we both are with a nap. Yeah.
Justifies its lofty status here.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, but I mean, you know, tough for Lofty and for Khan. I've almost got a tear coming now.
Steady on.
Because now we've got Aladdin, Proper Air is going to be odds on, Droopy's Plunge is going to be odds on. Do they get out of trouble in the last, or is Keyfield Goose going to beat Fay Point Suit? You know, it's... The bookmakers need a result, don't they?
Or we're going to be crying them a river again. Get Jason
so
to sing it.
So tomorrow, isn't it?
There is. I mean, the first round, they always say they don't win, and I actually think that this year was particularly difficult because we had quite a few 4-dog and 5-dog races in years gone by. I actually think you can get a few big prices in the first round. That's usually
you used to. You used to. Think about the tipping competitions, and without naming any names, those who would tip up the, you know, 16 to 1 chance every time they could and would suddenly get a result. Well, anybody doing that in the first round or playing that like that at home, you're thinking, please, just one for me, just one outsider. Never happened, did it?
No, it did not. Right, they're about to go behind the boxes. A couple of people, no bet here. Nibbled 5 and 6 each way due to a track bias. Trap 1 ran a good race last week, so chance in the book, says Marco. Yeah, we've got quite a few people who are on the inside duo here. Both myself and Darryl napping Droopy's Aladdin in Trap 2. Chris,
I'm liking that 4 to 5 now.
Yeah, it's good, isn't it? It's definitely better than the 1 to 2 we thought it might be.
Yeah.
They're ready.
Sutterways, the flag of the hat is now on the move. Stand by. Heat 5 of round 2. And they're away and are racing, and Droopy's Bookham gets a lively break with better early zip from Droopy's Aladdin to lead into the turn now. Droopy's Aladdin has gone on from Droopy's Bookham, who's turned second. Trouble at the back there for Droopy's Maximus, and down the far side it is Droopy's Aladdin with a length and a half lead from Droopy's Bookham, who's looking for a way past there, then clear of Flashing Fender and Brinkley's Louis in behind as they turn for home now. It's Droopy's Aladdin trying to tough it out, but here comes Droopy's Bookham to nail him right on the jam stick. 1-2-5 the order. Droopy's Bookham beats Droopy's Aladdin with Flashing Fender gutsing it out for third spot. Good effort, that.
Well, we did say he was the danger, Droopy's Bookham, if he managed to get the breaks and if he managed to just avoid that little bit of early trouble that he encountered last week. And it played out exactly as we thought, all the way to about the third bend, Darryl.
Yeah, 1 initially came out on top, did Droopy's Bookham, but 2 had far better early pace, and you think when Droopy's Aladdin goes to the front, we're set for a repeat of what happened last week. Look, Droopy's Bookham was desperately unlucky. We showed you that on the VT. Everything that could go wrong did go wrong. He did a lot of running. At this stage, you're beginning to get a little bit worried, I think, if you're on Droopy's Aladdin, because you can see Droopy's Bookham has got the momentum. It's got a swing to the outside, and now you know you're in trouble. And well done to Tom Hilbron, because Droopy's Bookham has pounced. Droopy's Aladdin will come back for more next week, and so will Flashing Fender for Craig Morris at Yarmouth.
Still never won a race, but round 3 of the Derby beckons for Flashing Fender, and another great head-on where nobody's moved out of their racing line, so that is good news. Just here in the time as well, 29.12.
It's almost as if somebody's had a word, you know, like the football match, guys, right, just stay to your lanes, OK, until you get to the bend, then you can go where you want, because they're almost all keeping straight, aren't they? They're all in the right boxes. Goodness me.
That never happens. Two, Droopy's Aladdin has led for so long before Droopy's Bookham, who Tom said this is his derby dog. You know, he's put a few in the competition, but this is his derby dog, and he thinks he's going to go far because... And you can see why, you know, I don't think he's draw dependent. I think he could probably do 1, 2 or 3 because he's one of those that comes straight out.
Absolutely, yeah.
And he stays on well. So as long as he gets the breaks and he doesn't get into that little bit of trouble, I think he might be one that could go deep, actually.
Yeah, I'm sure he's going to give Tom a good derby and a good tune going through, hopefully, the next few rounds. And look, Droopy's Aladdin, not the massive run that we saw last week, but, you know, he'll come back in 7 days or 8 days as it is and go again.
And he's only a puppy, you know, he's a July 23, he's not had that much racing yet for Michael Burton, and he'll be thrilled that he's just through to the next round. I'm just seeing that I think Ben Collins has led him up here. Now, the owner's rep nominations shut today.
Today, yeah, you had to get your cards in today.
Yes, and then Wednesday is when we find out, apparently, or at least the owner's rep nominees find out who is going to be our new owner's reps.
Well, I sent my vote in. I can't tell you, obviously, who I voted for, but I hope every other owner had the opportunity has posted their card off as well.
And we should find out the result next Wednesday, hopefully. That's what I've been told, anyway. Ben was telling me before. So, there is Droopy's Bookham through to round 3 of the Star Sports and TRC English Greyhound Derby. They will be absolutely chuffed as mint balls to be through to round 3 with this lad. Obviously, he had to ride a little bit of trouble last week, but he's made it through today unscathed. So let's go to Jason, who will be down with the delighted connections.
What a performance that was by Droopy's Bookham. Very, very happy. Now, Tom, now, people out there can't say you didn't tell them last week.
I said he's a nice dog, but he's done it well tonight, you know what I mean? He's got checked up between the 3rd and 4th bend, but he comes home like a train, you know what I mean? And I think, you know, with a clear run, he'll go quicker, but I'm happy with him. He's come away tonight. He flopped out last week, but he's come away well tonight.
And that was a good dog out in front.
Yeah, he was a real dog in front, you know what I mean? You saw what he did last week, so I was always quietly confident when he turned to handy that he would get him, but
in the middle there, he trapped out nicely and down the back just took his time to get past, but if we thought he had enough in the tank to do it, and he did, didn't he? So.
The thing is, in the derby, you've got to find out whether they can chase down good dogs, and as I was saying to Tom, we found that out.
Yeah, I mean, ARS couldn't get to him last week off the front. This boy's turned behind him and about 2 lengths back and checked up around the 3rd bend and still gone past down the home straight, yeah.
Now, I've spoken to 3 brutish men. Come on, there's a lovely lady here I'd like to speak to.
Hello, I'm Mrs. Young.
You're Mrs. Young, are you? Young by name, young by nature. I tell you what, whenever I've seen you around the track, you always seem to be having such a great time.
Oh, I love it, love it. Yeah, he's a fantastic dog. He's just gorgeous.
And the great thing about the derby, this is only the 2nd round.
I know. Yeah.
Think what's to come?
Yeah, another holiday maybe if he wins.
Hey! I like the sound of that. A wonderful performance by Droopy's Bookham.
Droopy's Bookham makes it through to round 3 in a time of 29.12, 7-4 second favourite. Beats Droopy's Aladdin, picks him up 4-5 favourite, and Flashing Fender, who's never won a race, is through to round 3 at 18-1.
Bet clever. Bet Goodwin. Proud sponsors of Gone to the Dogs.
Now, if you have missed any of the action from the first 4 heats, well, we're just about to enjoy the highlights.
Heat 1 of the 2nd round of the Greyhound Derby, and we're away and racing, and a good level line from 5, 3 and 2 into the turn. It's Tefil Tarquin up on the outside, but pushing his way through, but hitting the front and kicking clear now. Tefil Tarquin going on. It's going to be a blanket for the minor medals. It looks like Sunnyside Broxy may just have got in front of Barnett Bear, but Tefil Tarquin, he was impressive again. And they're away and racing, and a flashy break from Bowler Joe, who goes straight to the front with that early dash. Oh, there's trouble in behind as they turn for the judge. It's Bowler Joe, who's around about 3 lengths clear. Delardy-Dar is closing him down, but won't get there. And Bowler Joe is the winner, and he is officially now known as the Fawn Flash for that man Brendan Murphy and Pat Buckley. And off and racing, and the first to show Scooby the Boss, but better early pace from That's It Jack, and Dynamic Force rather missed the kick and is now trying to work into the contest. As they swing for home now, it's Dynamic Force that's got to the front, Scooby the Boss in second, and running on late in the day was Hello Diego to qualify in third. Dynamic Force had to work hard for the victory, but his class took him to the front, and he saw it out nicely enough. Trap 3 vacant here. Hot favourite is March on Freddie in Trap 6. And they're away and racing, and bombing out the boxes is Salakin 7, who goes into an early lead. It is the one, Salakin 7, with a 2-length lead from March on Freddie, who's weaving our late passage. He stays very, very well, this Greyhound, and March on Freddie is going to hit the front close home. March on Freddie wins it, and wins it nicely in the end. From 1, Salakin 7, it was tight for the qualifying spot between Slick Sentinel and Antigua Kestrel.
Loving the highlights of the first 4 heats of round 2, and the sun is going down on the Derby venue here at Toaster. Tractors going round as well. We've had 4 fantastic winners. Can tell you, as it stands, I've not got the most recent Droopy's Aladdin split time, but Falakis Sennen 4:01 has been the quickest so far. We have had Tiffield Tarquin, Ballinabola Joe, Dynamic Force, March on Freddie, Droopy's Bookham. Those are our first 5 heats. I thought we'd had 4. I'm having a mare. So 5 heats, and the quickest time so far, is it March?
Joe, isn't it? It's Joe.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Joe.
Can't see. So that will be 29.16 for Dynamic Force, so 29.16 for Dynamic Force. But Ballinabola Joe, 28.80, and one of the quicker splits of the evening. But we're going to go back from the studio to Jason.
Now, I'm very pleased to say I'm here with Gail Mate, who's just said, "Stand still, darling, don't lie down." Were you addressing me?
No, I was talking to Eric. He's very fed up. He's been on his feet all night, bless his heart, and he's not laid in the studio tonight in case he causes carnage again.
That was brilliant, wasn't it?
Yeah, he did. He did really well. So, and I think people liked it. A little bit of real life going on.
Now, you do such great work, have done for many years. How can people get money to you?
Right, well, obviously at the track, I'm going around with buckets, as always. We've got a huge prize draw. First Aid at Work have kindly sponsored to the tune of £2,500. So the prize draw is happening on Derby final night, so we're selling tickets here. And then we have also set up a Just Giving page, which is what people who are at home can hopefully do. We've got loads of people watching. If everybody's enjoying the programme, then hopefully they will donate. I think on the show they've put the details, and sorry, Eric's leaning against your leg.
I didn't know if it was Eric or Gail.
No, so they can donate via the Just Giving, and that's probably enough now.
That's brilliant, Gail, and we will speak to you further on throughout the conversation.
Thank you, thanks a lot.
Brilliant. Now, well, I've gone from the nice, I've got to go to the nasty. Bookies report. Lofty's just busy there, he's just doing a bit of business, so let him finish that. I haven't got a clue. How are you doing tonight?
Last race was our first winning race with here. I used to fancy the winner a little bit, but yeah, usual stuff. We land like 2 dogs in the race, but you can't get both dogs beat. It's just the way it is, you know. They usually let them pick 1 dog, but thought we had half a chance earlier on when we laid one of the earlier races where they bet the pair, but yeah, it's just one of them nights. So not doing too bad. We could be doing far worse, and it's not as cold as it was last week. You're going to go freezing there, Jace. You want to get some of the ID? You got your disco stuff. I'm ready for tonight. Look at
I'm all right.
Your wine shirt and that. I mean, look at it.
Now, listen, I'm coming here tomorrow. Do you want me to bring my black cap?
Nah, it's all right. Not quite that bad tomorrow night, is it? No. That's like putting when they hang people, isn't it? The black cap they used to wear. The judge, wasn't it? Didn't he used to wear them before they used to commit someone to, hang?
And on that happy note...
It can't be that bad, Jace. We're still here and smiling, so,
He's not that maudlin. He'll be back tomorrow. Hopefully.
So do I.
Oh, my word. I mean, Lofty and Jason are a good double act, to be fair, those two.
Well, I was wondering earlier, we was talking to Pat Godfrey and Mike Burton, you know, he says they're Morecambe and Wise. I'm thinking, well, who are you, Jason? Definitely not the Wise, are you? But, yeah, that would have been a three Stooges, maybe, who knows, yeah.
Stooges, before my time. Right, we've got our next heat. Coming up is heat number 6, and I can't wait to see this lad, proper heiress, back again, but we're going to have a look at the parade because they are out on the track ready to go. Track 1, Romeo Tomcat. I've actually gone with this lad tonight. Burst onto the scene at Central Park, so much pace. He couldn't peg back Val Tashadelic last week, but I thought he had a better draw today, and I might just be able to zoom up the inside. Track 2, Arthur Job, 3rd in the Monmore Puppy Derby. Was crowded out of the gym crack, but did well last week to close on Droopy's trade, beaten only half a length in his heat in round 1. Proper heiress, he's been on the go for quite some time, but he's a 3-time Cat 1 superstar. He got touched off by Droopy's Aladdin last week, but don't think he was disgraced, and he's very short at 3-1 on. Droopy's superstar, Winter Derby finalist, stays well as shown last week when he challenged Faye Point Susie late in the piece. He's 25-1 today. 50s for Hurry Up Brendan, who is a solid grader at the top level. He's got 1 minor open win to his name. He has loads of pace and managed to just hold a qualifying spot last week when he made most of the running. And there's Ballymac Tibet. He was well hyped up last week. He's 2 from 5 in Ireland, reached the second round in the Conan and Kirby Memorial. He was slow to go last week, 4:19 split, but he did stay on strongly. Right, we're going to have a look at Romeo Tomcat in action. This was Heat 9 on Thursday from Box 4.
Yeah, comes out of 4, obviously drawn 1 today. We'll look at that maybe in a bit more detail later. Pace up, sort of keeps middle as well. Is slightly edged in going into the first bend. Found a bit of crowding. Is chasing Val Tashadelic, who's a good winner, but he'll only go down 3 parts of a length, Danny, in the end. I thought he was battling on all the way. You know, he was trying to get by the leader, couldn't find a way, but it's a really big effort. The difficulty is where he's drawn today, because have a look at this in trap 4. Where's he going? He's going right. Where's he drawn today? He's drawn in trap 1. That could be a concern, not only to him, but to those around him, potentially.
I mean, Arthur Job might just give him a lead anyway, because Romeo, if you just take into account their last splits, 4:13 for Tomcat, 4:23 for Arthur Job, so you'd hope there was a little bit of room to manoeuvre, but Arthur Job has flashed out in a trial of 4:07, so you never know. We're going to have a look at 2 in action here. This is Ballymac Tibet and Hurry Up Brendan from Heat 25 on Saturday.
Yeah, Tibet's in 6 and completely misses it. Last early on 4, conversely goes the front, shows plenty of early and will storm down the far side. Will the eventual second dog in this particular race, Hurry Up Brendan, or third dog in this race, because Ballymac Tibet does make plenty of headway and is going to charge through, coming down towards the home turn, gets up the fence in the end to make a late run here, and I'm not sure what happened to 4, sort of lost the lead or lost a chance maybe at 3/4, but importantly he is through, that's the main thing, and gets a chance to try and reverse that form around. Look, you could argue that is the outside the place to be if Romeo Tomcat comes out. My view is that Proper Heiress will come out quicker than both 1 and 2, and therefore, as far as Proper Heiress is concerned, that won't be a problem. He'll be away and gone. I can't believe... Well, he was 1-3. I couldn't believe he was 1-3. I was obviously seeing things because he's now gone 1-2, which is kind of where he's been all day.
I mean, got to keep the faith with him. We've seen some sensational runs from him. The Winter Derby is my standout for him because I was there at Monmore and I just turned round and thought, goodness gracious me. That
well, my commentary was I could have stopped after 2 seconds.
Yeah.
You know, thank you very much, race over.
Yeah.
Because he broke so well. And he's that sort of greyhound, isn't it? So to see him get beaten last week, I think probably all left us thinking, I can't believe what I'm seeing. Droopers Lang couldn't quite frank the form tonight, but he ran all right.
He did, and he's through, which is always the main thing, and that's what Mark Wallace will be hoping for today.
Wave the flag and the hare runs for Heat 6 of the Derby. Stand by. of Go the Lids Off and Racing, and he didn't forget to come out today, did proper air rest, but he's challenged in the early stages by Romeo Tomcat, who's now hit the front from proper air rest. Then in behind him comes Arthur Job, who's close up, and he's just got shuffled back through the pack there, proper air rest. As cutting loose now is Romeo Tomcat, who's got a 3-length lead from Arthur Job. Then in behind this comes Droopy Superstar, oh, just tangled there with proper air rest, and as they reach the line, it is one who's going to come home in supreme isolation in the end. Romeo Tomcat beats Arthur Job, and it looked like Ballymac Tibet might have run on for third spot. We'll get that confirmed, but it got a bit messy for the favourite there, Proper Heiress, and he just could not get a clear run after a pretty decent break.
Yeah, and that's weirdly what's cost him, to be honest, the good break, because Romeo Tomcat's gone up into the first bend with him. There's been trouble all around for Proper Heiress. He's not made it through. It was Trap 1, Romeo Tomcat, who has won and has managed to pace up well enough into the first bend. Arthur Job and Droopy Superstar on the back foot early, but there's been all sorts of bother. I mean, the favourite, Darryl, just couldn't get a clear run here.
I think you almost expected, when he trapped in front, him to just go on and get by them and dominate, and for some reason that hasn't happened. And here, there's more trouble at the bend. Trap 4 takes a bad step there. I hope it's nothing worse than that, Droopy Superstar. And then we're thinking, is Proper Heiress going to secure third? The camera is focusing on the leaders, and he gets bobbed out of it, doesn't he? Ballymac Tibet has stolen third. Here's the head-on, one coming across. But, you know, 3 are broken on top, Proper Heiress, and the Proper Heiress that we know and love, you would have expected would have cleared, and for some reason that hasn't transpired. And one's paced up Romeo Tomcat, 5's trying to come across, but I think there was just the briefest moment there where I think we probably expected Proper Heiress to assert and take advantage of that early speed. And now he is in trouble, isn't he? And eventually, unfortunately, he's out.
He is. So, at this point, Droopy Superstar just gets the legs clipped. I think that's happened a couple of times. I mean, Arthur Job, what a run to get him through. Pat Godfrey, of course, unlucky in the Irish Derby last year with the flip of a coin. But Arthur Job, he's done a cracking race once again. I mean, not taking it away from anybody else. Obviously, we've focused on the favourite there, Proper Heiress. But Romeo Tomcat, he's a June 23. He's beaten another puppy in Trap 2, a July 23. And he's beaten another puppy in 6 with August 23. So the puppies have reigned supreme.
They certainly have, and Romeo Tomcat, you know, it's a great performance. He would have been one of those that went in the notebooks we showed to the VT as being desperately unlucky in the first round. He's taken his chance. Arthur Job is just a bit of a star, isn't he? Well, Pat Godfrey's a bit of a star. I think he's an underestimated trainer.
I agree.
I think sometimes people go, he's got silly names, these dogs, Arthur Cucumber, Arthur... But he's very, very good, isn't he? And he's so often... his greyhounds belie their odds.
They do, and 29.02 we're hearing from Romeo Tomcat, which is a good time considering there was that slight congestion at the first bend. So I think he's run out of his skin there. Really?
Yeah, he's run a monumental race. He hasn't won for a while. It's probably not the draw he wants, and he's managed to find a way through. And Pat Janssens keeps on qualifying these grounds. I'm not going to go through the stat again from last week, but he had 5 winners in the first round. I know that for a fact. Only Graham Holland had more, and Pat Janssens is a man others will fear as the contest progresses.
Yeah, there's quite a few that have been on Trap 1. So, well done to everybody who did back Romeo Tomcat. There's a few, you know, Proper Heiress out, a few slap faces. Unlucky.
Yeah, I mean, look, I had plenty of anti-post interest on Proper Heiress. I'm sure many others would have done as well, and you think you're a bit clever when you've backed him earlier than other people, and you've got a 25-to-1 ticket. That is now worthless. But the most important thing is, you know, we wish him well, and he'll be back, and he'll fight another day, and he'll win more big competitions because he's got that class.
As we go down to the podium, we're going to go and join Jason once again.
What a performance by Romeo Tomcat there. Now, Pat, I've just seen a different side of you.
Do you?
I saw you mocking those poor bookmakers over there.
Yeah, well, he's always been a fantastic greyhound, this one, you know what I mean? So we always knew we sort of run him at Monmouth and Sheffield because the puppy competitions were there, but them tracks don't really suit him because it's all about out and gone, and when Toaster was always his track, and yeah, he done himself justice tonight, and he's he's still only a puppy, you know what I mean? He only had, I think, 9 or 10 races, so yeah, he's only going to go one way.
Where would you like to see him drawn?
Well, makes no difference really. Do you know what I mean? The thing is, we tried them rails, we tried the middle, and I definitely think tonight he won on the draw. Do you know what I mean?
Last week when I spoke to you about all your runners, you were exuding confidence, and quite rightly so. And well, we've just seen this, and you've still got plunge to come tonight.
Yeah, we do, and the other two qualified as well. Barntic Bear and a monster of a race, you know what I mean? He got a bit of trouble, and Slick Sentinel didn't break very well. No, they're all very, very good dogs. They're all class, they're all quality. Do you know what I mean? And listen, we're in the next round with the last 48, and it's like all the others. And yeah, we wish for the best.
Now, somebody who hasn't mocked the bookmakers tonight, like Pat, having a go at poor old Connery, I've just got to have a quick word with you. Lovely as ever.
Oh, brilliant. I mean, he didn't break particularly well, but he showed true guts and determination to get around the bend in front, so I couldn't be more proud of him.
What's his pet name?
Woody.
Woody? Why is that?
I don't know. You'll have to ask Dave Firminger. All of his dogs come with names.
Right, Pat, do you know?
No. He's Woody, and when he goes in there, we have a big paddock down the bottom, and there's some pine cones in there, and every day he brings a back of pine cone to you, and he drops them on you. He's like, he could do the agility.
Just tell me Plunge isn't Buzz Lightyear.
No, he's a total opposite. Total opposite.
Well, cheers, thanks very much. Thank you.
I love it, pine cone. So, that's great. I love the little quirks of dogs. They're just so funny. So, Romeo Tomcat has won at 100 to 30, second favourite, 29.02 the time. After Job second, 22 to 1, and Ballymac to bet in third at 8 to 1 is into round 3.
Bet Goodwin, proud sponsors of Gone to the Dogs.
You slap me like a red light.
Bet clever, bet Goodwin.
We're expecting the two pitches to lead, Stowe's Val in 3 and his Bullock in 5. Can they dominate the race from the front, or will the favourite Sun Picture, he knows, pick them up? The outsiders Chart Taylor, and here's Andy. Away we go then for the Greyhound Derby final, and racing up towards the first bend, and 5 and he's pulling his away fast, but not as fast as Stowe's Val. Look where Sun Picture is already as they go around the second bend, and Sun Picture takes up the lead here. He's going clear from Stowe's Val in second. The rest are nowhere as they come down towards the second last bend. It's Sun Picture going clear for victory. He's got 4 lengths clear from Stowe's Val in second. After these comes He Knows, putting it all in, but it's all too late and all in vain, because there's only one winner of this year's Greyhound Derby. It's Sun Picture, owned by Steve Spiteri, trained by Charlie Lister. What a greyhound, a unique fighting force he is, isn't he? What a picture he makes.
Now, if you are not already subscribed to the YouTube sensation that is Barking Mad Betting, that's grown to about 2,500 subscribers in 3 weeks' time, he's had a video that's had something daft like 25,000 views, then you are, well, missing out. Barking Mad Betting. You can find him on Instagram, TikTok and YouTube. He uploads most days, I think. He's here at the track tonight. I've seen him doing his little thing with his little handheld camera as well. So I think he came in the studio last week. I am talking, of course, Ryan Keneally. He is Joe Keneally's big brother, and he is going to be interviewed now by Jason.
Thank you, Danny. Now, you've just been accused of doing your little thing with your little machinery, or handheld camera, as you put it, to be fair.
It's in there, yes, it's in there, yeah. My secret weapon is in there, yes, indeed, yeah.
Now, tell us once more. Well, can we have a look at your little camera?
You can indeed, yes. I'll try and get it.
Not a sentence I've ever used before, to be honest.
It was a camera as well. So this is my camera. This is my gadget. Now I don't really have a clue what I'm doing here, other than pressing it on and making it and just basically facing me. And at the moment, it's facing me, and I'm backing losers. So I'm not having a good day today, which usually makes for a good show, though.
That was a good advert for a job interview at QVC, I thought there. I've watched on YouTube, I watched it. Tell everybody what the channel is again.
So it's Barking Mad Betting. We're on YouTube, and then we're on TikTok, we're on Instagram, all the social media platforms. Up to 3,000 subscribers now on YouTube, which apparently is really, really good. I enjoy doing the content. One of our videos on TikTok yesterday has hit 275,000 viewers, which I believe is pretty good. So again, the whole point of it is my journey in betting, the highs and, at the moment, quite a few lows, but also to promote ground racing, introduce the dogs as the individuals and superstars that they are to the wider public, and yeah, that's what I'm looking to do, and so far so good.
It really is brilliant. Your enthusiasm shines. Now I think can't help but go for a shorty here, can you? In our next.
Oh well, because of the situation I'm in, I'm going to do a forecast. I'm going to do plunge to beat Churchfield Sid, and yeah, let's just try and get myself out of this. A little bit of a slump that I'm in right now.
The only thing I will say to you, the only mild criticism, I did watch, and when you want to portray that you're going for trap 2, do it that way round.
Jason, I know you're watching, you see, so I do that deliberately, so don't worry about that. I'm only joking, of course I don't. Not allowed to swear on YouTube, so there you go.
Absolutely not. Well, best of luck.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Thank you. Cheers. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Nice.
Oh, he's absolutely smashing us out the water on Got to the Dogs Live. He's not barking. Oh, that's tickled me. Right, we've got our next heat. Heat number 7, penultimate heat on night 1 of round 2. Can't believe it. Trap 1, Bet Goodwin Ed. Used to be Dutchy at 12 to 1. 2 Droopies Plunge at 3 to 1 on favourite. 3 Here's Ringo at 25s. 4 Ballymac Blanco 40s. 5 Vagar 12s and 6 Churchfield Sid at 3 to 1. The old boy that everybody loves. I cannot wait to see Churchfield Sid in action once again. But this is Droopy's Plunge.
Yeah, paces up nicely, doesn't he, from trap 2, and he's going to grab the lead into the corner and just basically dance away down the far side. Opens a very, very healthy lead, and it's not going to be for catching. A decisive run. Drawn in 2. He did seem to sort of edge in, I suppose, lane 1.5, if you like. But he should clear Bet Goodwin Ed down on his inside, I would imagine. 12 wins from 19, 8 from 12 at the track. You know, another Pat Jansen's Greyhound that just adores Toaster.
Yeah, I mean, he's one of those dogs that I think I spoke to Patrick Jansen last year on the podcast, and he said he is his main Derby hope, and that was last August. So he's lived up to the billing so far. It's one of those things where we know he's got so much pace. He can, however, throw in the odd slightly below par run or below par start. I mean, he's only had 19 runs, so I guess he's still kind of learning on the job. But if he was to just slightly miss it today, Sid's got to capitalise, surely.
Yeah, and Sid has got such a lot of early pace on the outside. I mean, he's been an absolute credit, hasn't he, to Richard Rees and to the Evans family and all those connections involved. Derby finalist last year, you know. I daren't mention the R word because they've talked about this, you know, retirement for him, but he wouldn't listen anyway, Sid.
No.
And it's great to see him here, and he was a big price, I suppose, 15-8 last week. He just came under a bit of pressure, I thought, late on in that race. We may see that in a second. And he could be vulnerable again, perhaps at the business end of the race, because Droopy's Plunge and certainly Bet Goodwin Ed are stronger dogs in the finish. But listen, you've got to love him, Churchfield Sid, because what hasn't he done? Here he is, he edges over, he gets across, he opens up a pretty healthy lead down the far side, and will go on and beat Sunnyside Broxy, we saw qualify a bit earlier on in the first heat this evening. But he is just coming back a little bit off the final bend, and, you know, for those who've been looking at the sort of run-home times that have been out there this week, you know, he might be 4 or 5 lengths slower than the likes of Droopy's Plunge and Bet Goodwin Ed in that finish from the third bend onwards. That's a little bit of a concern, but you wouldn't say he couldn't, because he's just an absolute star.
He knows how to go deep in this competition as well. He reached the final, of course, last year, and he was 4th, just ahead of Sunnyside Broxy, who was, in a previous life, a Ballymac Gizmo. Right, they are on parade for the second round, heat number 7 of the Star Sports and TRC English Derby 2025. And we have Bet Goodwin Ed in the red jacket. Might struggle to keep pace early on, but he ran on strongly in a hot race last week behind Droopy's Aladdin. There is trap 3. We know Droopy's Plunge. He's a nervous type. He will not be on parade at any point. Trap 3, here's Ringo. 0 from 10 so far. He ran on after trouble last week. He just might be up against it tonight, but you never know. Trap 4, Ballymac Blanco. Was off for a while before the heat. Had to ride a little bit of trouble. Likes the rail, and again, might encounter a little bit tonight. Trap 5, Vagar. Been off with a niggle, but she's an exciting type with a lot of speed who bumped into a nice one with Lenny's Desire last week. And 6, there he is, Churchfield Sid, 3-time Cat 1 winner, 4th in the Derby last year and battled on well last week to just fend off his old rival from the final last year, Sunnyside Broxy. There's only a short head between them. But trap 2, we heard from Patrick Janssens last week at Droopy's Plunge. He's scared of his own shadow. He's a very nervous type and just doesn't want to know. Will just be taken away, does his own thing on the infield, doesn't come for the podium, doesn't do the parade, just, you know, lives his own little life on his own and races like an absolute machine.
Well, this is the thing, isn't it? You know, you say it like that, he does his little thing on the track, but, you know, he's an absolute star with such a ability, you know, perennial quick clocker, if you like, around here, 28.64 last week. Has hardly had any racing, has he? Chased home Proper Heiress in the Juvenile. He ran well on Judgment Night behind Clona Dash. He's obviously been geared towards this race, and rightly so, because this is his track. The one I think might outrun the odds, though, is Bet Goodwin Ed, who ran an absolute stormer behind Droopy's Aladdin last week, was making a lot of late headway. I think won 1 from 9 in Ireland. He's only had that one start here since going through the sales. I think he's really interesting, and I could see him certainly being involved in the finish. I mean, I'd probably like 3 places, but I'm not sure any firm's going to offer 3 places with a 1 to 4 favourite. But I think he can run better than the odds, let's put it that way.
25 to 1 on the inside for Bet Goodwin Ed, and we've now proven that the track is absolutely fine and not biased. We just had a few nice types in the outside boxes. William Hill doing the trade in the outright book in running. March on Freddie, 14s from 16s. Droopy's Bookham, 40 to 1 from 50 to 1. Derek, let us know if you've moved anything now that Proper Heiress is out as well. We have got because I know he's watching the show, you see. 1 to 4 favourite here in Droopy's Plunge. 7 to 2 for Churchfield Sid. And, yeah, 20 to 1 bar those. Now, Churchfield Sid, I'll have to say, has beaten Ryan Keneally's record on TikTok with 1.5 million views. So, there you go. Ryan, you've got a lot of work to do. Oh, yes, because that's our shining light at the moment. And we're in a bit of rivalry with the Barking Mad Betting channel because it's grown like you would not believe, because everybody likes to see Ryan lose. So it's great. And he does it so consistently.
Poor old
fantastic.
Ryan. Poor old Ryan. But look, it's brilliant, isn't it? We saw, of course, Sunnyside Broxy qualify early. We saw Delardy qualify early. So 2 of last year's finalists are in the 3rd round. And so many would love to see Churchfield Sid do the same. You know, the old fella, can he get through another round here? He's 72. Are you tipping Sid, or are you not really?
No, I have gone with Plunge. I can't really see him go. I can't see the race any other way in my mind than Plunge away and gone up the inside line. If he was drawn maybe further from the rail, yes, maybe, but I think it's just going to be a 2-6 forecast, and I don't think I can see anything else but that. But we'll see, because stranger things have happened in the past.
Chris waves his flag and the hare is now on the move for Heat 7 of the 2nd round of the Derby. Here comes the hare, up go the lids and off and racing, and 6 has flown out. He's come out on roller skates, as Churchfield Sid, and quickly goes into a 2-length lead, followed through by Ballymac Blanco, who is snapping at heels coming out the 2nd bend. Then a gap developing to Droopy's Plunge, and then we've got Here's Ringo, followed through by Vega. At the back of the pack is Bet Goodwin Ed. As they turn for home now, it's Churchfield Sid, who's trying to kick away from his field. Then comes Ballymac Blanco. In behind these is Droopy's Plunge, but up towards the line. 6 is going to hold on. Flashing home was Vega to snatch 2nd from Droopy's Plunge. Back in 3rd, Churchfield Sid has done it again, the old boy.
Well, serves us right for going against him, Darryl, to be quite honest. But Churchfield Sid, I mean, you just can't knock this lad. He pulls it out the bag every single time you see him. And we said, you know, that the retirement word had been whispered around and bandied about, and he's just gone, retirement? Me? No chance.
He paces up so well, doesn't he? 1's missed it, I expected that. 2, Droopy's Plunge, not able to get in any kind of position early on and really hard at it down the back. Ballymac Blanco had moved into a perhaps a qualifying position, but it's the 5 who's going to do all the late running. Vagar to eventually come through and grab 2nd here from a long way back. But, yeah, Churchfield Sid, I mean, there's no more to be said, really, about this greyhound. And the idea that people would sit in the studio and try and take him on is just hideous, really. But we did.
It is. I mean, I can't believe it. And look, I mean, Droopy's Plunge was nailed on for second for me, and Vagar's come through and nabbed him. That's a good run from Vagar, to be fair, because she was out the back of the telly. Looking at the head-on, oof, here's Ringo. Could have caused a fair bit of bother, but I think everybody's moved out. Vagar's gone the widest possible route to get away from Here's Ringo. And 6, Churchfield Sid. I mean, he was away and gone. It didn't matter where he went.
Yeah, I mean, it's what he did last week. He's just got this electric pace up to the corner. He's utilised being the only wide runner. He's cleared them. I'm talking as if I was expecting this to happen. Well, I was expecting him to be up with the lead, but I expected Droopy's Plunge to be right there with him and probably just to prove the stronger. But for Droopy's Plunge connections, they can take away, the consolation of qualification. However, the old Warrior has done what he does best, and he struck gold again. And a third finalist from last year is in the third round.
Unbelievable. Superb effort from Churchfield Sid. Beats Vagar, who's run like an absolute train late doors, and Droopy's Plunge has just managed to qualify in third place. Oh, Churchfield Sid, I love him. Just to say, Delardi-Dar now 8-1 from 10-1 on the back of RS going out. So there's even, there's not much wiggle room in that price for Lardy-Dar. Churchfield Sid, let's see what his price is now, actually, after winning his second round heat. And he's just such a lovable lad. They will be thrilled. I mean, it's such a nice story as well for Churchfield Sid, because, of course, he had that injury. He was nursed back to full fitness, and if anything, he's better than he was before that injury, and he's absolutely flying at, what is he, June 21, nearly 4 years old? Unbelievable.
I mean, sometimes certain greyhounds, you just have to not so much rip the form book up, because he's got the form, but you have to forget that this is a June 21 whelp. Forget that idea. You know, in his mind, he's a puppy.
Yeah. I mean, I just can't believe it. I should have gone with my heart.
We all should have done. We're all, I'm sure lots of people sat at home now going, why did I back why did I back Droopy's Plunge? Why didn't I back Churchfield Sid? I'm asking myself that question. But I'm also so pleased to see him put up that performance. I mean, Darryl Bear and Billy Evans and Steve Evans, I'm not sure either are here. I think Billy's here, isn't he? I mean, they're actually going to be they probably just can't believe. Well, they probably can, because they've been associated with this dog for so long.
Yeah.
And he just never ceases to amaze us. Jackie on the podium as well. Next time I go to the Reese Kennels, I'm going to have to not go back for a while, because I'm going to be in trouble now for trying to take him on. I'm trying to get you a bigger price, guys. That's all it was all about. No,
that's it.
Yeah.
Of course. Well, there's quite a few people that have gone with 6. A couple of people have laid 6. Can't bet favourite here. 6 is the value. So, and Tommy Tinkler said that was my biggest bet of the night. Well done. As we go to Jason.
Wow, what another incredible performance by the evergreen Churchfield Sid, finalist last year. Now, I've got to just do this, and it wasn't me who wanted to do this. You got to know when to hold them. Know when to fold them. Kenny Rogers, ladies and gentlemen. Darryl.
I wish I could sing like it.
Wow. He just keeps going.
He does. He just keeps going for us. He never lets us down. He's just a dog of a lifetime. He really is.
And I'm not being funny. I know Plunge has done a lot, but you look at the prices and you think, when will people ever learn?
Well, this is the thing with him. You know, he's not overlooked the dog by any stretch of the imagination, but he does come up against these dogs that are doing 28.50s, and and he's not one of them that will do the 28.50. But when he runs against them, they've got to beat him. He's just got that potent weapon, and it's his early pace. He's phenomenal.
He is phenomenal. I've just got a quick word with Maxwell, actually. Maxwell, did you enjoy that?
Yes.
An incredible performance.
Yeah, it was a really good performance.
And I wonder if you've been as kissed as often as Churchfield Sid is. Jackie, you've done nothing but kissing.
I don't think anyone's kissed as often as Churchfield Sid, to be honest. Yeah.
How about Richard?
Goodness, no. Yeah. He loves it. He's so kissable, aren't you? God, heart of gold. Couldn't be more proud of this dog. Unbelievable, isn't he? Absolutely unbelievable. Yeah. No words really for this dog. Yeah.
Absolutely brilliant.
He is an absolute superstar, he really is. We thank you for sharing him with us. The wonderful Churchfield Sid.
Thank you.
Just absolutely stunning. Churchfield Sid, big price, 3-1 second favourite, 28.95, one of the quickest of the night. Vagar 20-1 snuck through for second, and Droopy's Plunge in 2 at 2-7 favourite, was third. That was the penultimate heat of round 2, night 1. Now, our sponsors this evening are Bet Goodwin. 50% back on first day losses, up to a £25 free bet. There's your T's and C's as well. But our thanks to Bet Goodwin for sponsoring the show. It's bringing you the action here on Gone to the Dogs live, and we couldn't do it without them, quite simply. So our thanks to them for putting up the money so that we can bring you all of the good action, the reactions and what have you, and all the interviews that Jason's finding as well. So thrilled to be here. It's an absolute pleasure to cover all of the action. Right, we're going back in time again, but who is it this time?
And away we go, and racing up towards the first bend, and 2 Night Trooper gets a flyer from the boxes. 3 Chandler Slippy showing great pace up. After he's got 5 Baddies Rocket, slightly checked there, and then comes 6 Ever Loving Eddie. After he's got 4 Checkpoint Charlie at 1. Bebop Alola down that back straight, and Chandler Slippy asserts he's gone 2 lengths clear from Night Trooper. Baddies Rocket checked again at the third bend as they come around the final bend, and there's Chandler Slippy. He's 2 clear. What a greyhound this fellow is. He's stamping authority all over this race. Great, great victory. Chandler Slippy the name, winning the 1996 Daily Mirror Sporting Life Greyhound Derby final. What a unique greyhound this fellow is.
We have got the first aid at work training services putting up the prize for the Derby final fundraising draw. There we go. Got it out. Gail May's far better at this stuff than me. But our thanks to First Aid at Work Training Services for putting up the prize on Derby final evening. You can head to the Greyhound Homing UK website to find out more as we gear up for our final heat of the night. And trap 4, Keyfield Goose 5-4, Fay Point Susie 6-4, 4-1 Fabulous Sonique, 14-1 Droopy's Job, and Deliveroo 16-1 is the outsider. Sorry, had to be done. Right, we are going to have a look at this.
You've been waiting all night for this, Danny, haven't you?
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, I've seen it 3 times.
Yeah, but you've still been waiting all night for it.
I love it. I mean, this as well is the definition of only child. Bothering the mum. Fay Point Susie had a litter of 1, and she has probably come over to the Derby for a rest, which we're going to go quite deep in the competition. Just 1 more week. But it's heartwarming. It's beautiful.
Well, we've just seen an almost veteran win, of course, Church for us. Fay Point Susie is a veteran. She's a March 21, and there was a great interview, wasn't there, with Rachel, of course, Graham's daughter, last week when she won. I think it was along the lines of, you know, they're going to the Derby. She's going to the Derby. No, you're not stopping her. She's on the van. She's coming over. And she didn't let anybody down, did she, with her win in the first round?
No, she did not, and she's short enough as well in the second round. Right, we are all about entertainment here on Gone to the Dogs Live, and who better to entertain us than Jason?
Thanks, Danny. Now, every night after each Derby night, there's going to be a band playing, and tonight it is Lodestone, who are, as if you need telling, they are...
Richard.
Who plays?
I'm the singer.
Oh.
Mike, I'm the guitarist.
Martin, I'm a bass player.
John on drums. Gotta be in it.
What do they call someone who hangs around with a band?
John.
What type of music do you play?
Oh, we cover everything. So a bit of indie, bit of disco, something to get everybody up and dancing.
Oh, fantastic. And do you take requests?
Sometimes, yeah. Depends what it is, yeah. Yeah, we do, yeah.
If it's on the set list. And what's your favourite song to play?
For me, it's got to be Uptown Funk.
Oh, that is good. I'd like to see that. And you come on, drummer. Just give us some drum hands. Show us the drum hands.
Come on, let's do it.
That's how I eat a Chinese. Lads, great tonight. If you're here tonight, you won't be necessarily seeing this, but Lodestone will be here. There'll be a band on after every night. Watch them. They are going to be fantastic. Thanks very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Cheers.
Band on every single night. And on Derby final day, we are starting early. I think the gates open at 10. We've got live bands from about 11:30, if memory serves, when looking at the schedule. I only looked at it this morning, to be fair, so I should know. But, yeah, we are going to have plenty of entertainment on Derby final day and night. Right, this is Fay Point Susie in action last week. This bitch is just phenomenal. From Trap 2, had to fend off a competitor on the outside, but has managed to guts it out and win.
Yeah, I mean, I think she just found plenty. She did sort of step slightly away from the rail out of trap 2. Seemed to be moving to 3 early on, but she had the early pace. She's got the run. She takes charge. And she's going to go on and win by a length and a half. I mean, she's normally a greyhound who is best on the lead or certainly near the front. When she's had trap 1 at Toaster in the past, she has won 4 times from 5 starts. So she might be even better in the red jacket than she was in the blue last week.
Oh, that'd be a sight to see then, wouldn't it, against Keyfield Goose? There's plenty of people that are on Keyfield Goose. I mean, Dave Wilson's done the joke of Deliveroo to deliver in the last, so you got that in before me. Thank you. Doghouse Riley, how far does the Goose win by? Tommy Tinkler, 3 lengths. The Goose, cosy winner, start to finish for me. Ian Langford, not sure the Goose leads. Susie, so I'm siding with Susie. But we are going to have a look at Keyfield Goose here in action. From box 3, popped out, made all.
Yeah, look, she's a perennial... he's a perennial quick starter, gets loose here. Sort of stays down the middle of the track, to be fair. It did edge in a little bit going towards the first bend, but really is dominating the middle path all the way down towards the home turn. Sing-Along Molly's going to give chase. He ran a very good race in defeat, it has to be said. But you would expect that you will be on the leader if you back Keyfield Goose, and that's why I'm tipping Keyfield Goose. Things haven't quite gone as well as I expected. After the first 2 winners, I thought, well, here we go. But I know how Joe's feeling now, having had plenty of reverses subsequently.
Well, I did say, what were they going to be called? So we've got Keneally's calamities when they don't go well.
Disasters, I think.
That's it. Daryl's disasters. Yeah. Oh, nailed it. Right, that was...
Thanks.
That was that segment.
I have got 2. It's not been... Yeah, but...
2 from 8.
You do sometimes, I think, you know, it's like when you're wagering at home, isn't it? And you think, you know... I don't know, if you have a multiple bet, it's always nice to start off with a couple of winners, because then you think, oh, get 3 or get 4. It kind of feels better than maybe the first couple losing and then you know, sneaking something late. But you do suddenly think you're the world's best tipster for 10 minutes.
You do. I mean, we write the columns, like I said before, and every time I get 1 in, I'm just thinking, yeah, come on. Oh, OK. We'll just switch off for the night. Right, Waypoint Susie, there she is. She's so cute. 3rd round 2023, 2nd round last year, 4th in the Derby Plate last year, dug deep to win last week. Can she do it again? Trap 2, fabulous Sonique, happiest girl in the place, I think. 3-time Cat 1 finalist, 2 have been here. Bumped into a classy twice Derby finalist last week behind Boyle Sports. Bob. Keyfield Goose, British bred Derby finalist, 2nd in the Cat 2 Champion Stakes on final night last year, made all in a quick time last week. He will be the pace angle with a 4:06 split that he put on the board last week. Droopy's job wouldn't always be the flashiest from the traps, but he runs on well. Apart from Goose, there's not a massive amount of pace in this race, so he might be able to sit a little bit handier. For the Shortwood Boys Syndicate and Robert Hall, 20-1 with Trap 6, Deliveroo. 2 Cat 1 semis as a puppy. Has got a good draw on the outside, but needs a better start this week. He has trapped better in the past. I was holding my breath last week to see if he did actually deliver. Right, we are all... sorry. We're almost ready for heat number 8 of the Star Sports and TRC English Derby round 2. Heat, we've got Churchfield Sid 50s from 66s for the in-play, what's it called? Outright booking, running, trading. There we go.
That'll be the one.
That's the one. I should just read Derek's texts, really, instead of trying to make it up myself.
I was just thinking, Dave, look, obviously Trap 3's vacant here, but you remember last year when it was all about pinging down the middle?
Yeah.
Trap 3, I think, had 3 winners in the first round. Trap 4 only had 2 winners in the first round. Now, this is an opportunity for a dog in 4 to ping down the middle with no runner to the left, plenty of racing room. So, really, Keyfield Goose should be able to run his race, shouldn't he? He's won 5 from 14 round here as well. He did actually... I thought he edged towards lane 4 from Trap 3 last week. So, if anything, the draw's even better. 5-4, Waypoint Susie... I'm amazed with Waypoint Susie at 6-4. I mean, it's the price she should be.
Yeah.
But I just love the fact she's hardly had any racing. I mean, she was busy with sort of motherhood and everything. But, you know, she's almost like she's just, you know, I'll see you later, young pup. I'm off to win the Derby.
Yeah, why not?
Well, why not? Why not
working
go another
mums,
few rounds?
Got to have a working mum.
Yeah.
Got to set the example for the younger generation, Daryl.
Anyway, listen, we wish you well. And Graham Holland's only runner tonight, of course, but he's got an army coming tomorrow.
He does. Now, they are on the infield at the moment. We have I'm just struggling for sectionals. The fastest one I've seen so far, because the last 3 heats I don't have sectional times, they've not come through, so I can't tell you if anybody's gone quicker. But Seleka's Sennen was the 4:01 split that we've had, and then everybody else. If anybody can tell me the sectionals, then
I mean, bearing in mind, we
grand.
think, don't we? We think that the going might be a touch on the slow side. We're just seeing that on the times, and therefore, perhaps, the sectionals, you know, may in theory you'd adjust those, so maybe they wouldn't quite be as sharp as they were last week. But yeah, we don't have. It's a shame we don't have that data instantaneously, but there we are. It's not out.
It's only 2025. There are the Star Sports boys. Khan Hughes to the right, Lofty to the left, doing a bit of last-minute trading on
And you
this
know
race.
what? When you think, you know, again, the bookmakers, look at the results tonight. It's been 2 favourites, but 5 second favourites. I mean, you know, they can't get a result, can they, the bookmakers?
No.
There'll be an outsider at some stage. Whether it's going to come in this last heat or whether we've got to wait until tomorrow, we'll find out very shortly. But, yeah, it's just a case of, you know, backing the right one of 2, really.
We have had Adrian Smith-Pope saying Deliveroo to arrive late. ... Maybe that's a sting on Deliveroo. I'm not sure.
If that happens, I'm not sure.
I'm not sure. They're ready anyway.
Flag here for Heat 8 of the second round of the Star Sports TRC English Derby. And they're off here. Fair point Susie with a good start there for Graham Holland, with Deliveroo on the outside there for Ben Collins, who owns him. But it is Fair point Susie at the first bend that does leave. It is a good battle between 1 and 6. 2 back in second. Fabulous on equal finish strongly, as she always does. 4 back in third. Keelfield Goose. It is between the 1 and the 6 and the 2. Deliveroo is taking up the lead here, but going a bit wide. Fair point Susie keeps on the inside, but Deliveroo is keeping a good position there. Fabulous Sonique is coming, but it's going to be Fair point Susie that's going to take this one for Graham Holland. She's really good at this course. She takes that win with pride. Nice winner there for Graham Holland.
Now, he's kept his cool, Ashley Williams, there, because that was his nap who's won.
Yes.
In Fair point Susie. Before we dive into this, Track 5 has gone wrong in this race. Droopy's job, so hoping that obviously he is okay, but he's taken a knock around the first and second bends and obviously gone a miss. Probably is a hock from what I've just seen there, but
yeah,
we'll have to wait and see.
For the Shortwood boys and Bob Hall, that's so disappointing to see. It was a good race, though, wasn't it, in Fair point Susie? I thought Deliveroo was going to deliver down the outside with a strong finish, but Fair point Susie, Mum's kept finding all the way to the line, hasn't she? I mean,
yeah.
what a little star she is. And, yeah, Graham Holland, only the one winner tonight. I mean, only the one runner, but, yeah, it's just a little bit of a hint as to what's probably going to come tomorrow.
I mean, she reached the 3rd round in 2023. She reached the 2nd round last year. She's only ever won in the 1st round in all 3, and now she's won her 2nd round heat. That was... it's just phenomenal. I mean, really, really good. I'm chuffed for Fair point Susie. I backed her today. I quite liked
Did you? Did you? Well done.
Yeah, she was my... I'm after timing, everyone, but I did fancy her today. I was going between her and Keelfield Goose all kind of day, really. Keelfield Goose, unfortunately, just didn't get out of the boxes today, and he's not qualified even.
No, and that's kind of what he has to do, doesn't he? He has to be up very near the speed. That just wasn't happening today, but so much love, really, for Fair point Susie and you know, the old-timers. Churchfield Sid, if he was watching that in the kennels, you know, what is he, a few weeks off of being a vet, and she's a March 21, and she's still there.
I know. I cannot believe it. Fair point Susie, she has won outright. We've got a dead heat for 2nd, 2 and 6, Fabulous Sonique and Deliveroo. So, dead heat 2nd, they cannot split them. And the time, 29:16, I think it was. So, yeah, superb effort. There she is on the podium again. She's going to get used to that. Oh, and the spotlight as well. Unbelievable. So, there they are. Winners' podium. We'll be interviewing them again. Graham Holland. I know we had Rachel last week as well, and she was giggling away, having a wonderful time, Rachel. And she writes a blog for Greyhound News UK as well about the kennels chances, so do have a look at that online. There is Faye. She's gorgeous as well. Really beautiful markings on her face. Fair point Susie. As we go back to Jason.
She is an absolute phenom. Faye Point Susie. Nikki, she's done it again.
Yeah, she has. She's brilliant. She loves Toaster, doesn't she? And she's well drawn in one, popped out, and yeah, just thrilled to be there for the next week, and just great. She rarely runs a bad race around here, so really, really pleased.
Well, she absolutely adores the place. We know you've got some big stars coming tomorrow, but I don't know if there can be anything to rival in popularity, because people just adore her.
They do, yeah, and like, you know, she's got a puppet as well, Midnight, which I think Rachel's put up all over social media, which people are following. It's a great story. So yeah, look, she's third year here and she's running brilliant. You wouldn't know it's the third year here the way she's running. So absolutely delighted.
I must say, Rachel's writings are absolutely beautiful. She's got a lovely style, and she's always so complimentary, not just about your own greyhounds, but every other one.
She's great. We're very proud of her.
As you should be. Thanks very much.
Thank you. Thanks very much.
Faye Point Susie and her son, Midnight. Oh, gorgeous. Absolutely sensational. Really, really happy that she's won again. Really happy. We're just waiting on the result because, of course, we have had a dead heat for seconds, so just waiting for the data to come through before we give you the result. But, I mean, what a story that is. It's you know, the one puppy. She's come over here, she's been in the Derby 3 times, she knows how to win, she's just a really nice bitch.
It's just been one of those nights, isn't it, where one story sort of surpasses the next. When Tiffel Tark won the first, we're thinking, how good is that for the McCulls?
Yeah.
And then you got March on Freddie, who, you know, a lot of us are thinking, does he run Toaster? I mean, Julie did say he doesn't run Toaster as well other tracks, but he's run a monumental race to qualify. Then Sid comes along, and now I think Susie's probably even usurped that performance, so... Yeah, some great feel-good stories, and these are stories that we, as a greyhound industry, need to make sure that we get out there, which, of course, obviously we will do here on Gone to the Dogs Live, but hopefully others as well, just to tell people what a brilliant competition the Derby is, and the stories and the content it generates are just, you know, it's giving us good stories time after time.
It is, and I think it's the perfect competition to do that as well. It's got so many dogs and so many people just taking their chance at popping their pups into the competition. Right, I'm going to go with my highlight of the night, and it's the one we've just seen, because I think, as you've probably worked out, I really like this pitch. Faye Point Susie, we know she does well from box 1. She's done not quite as quick a time as last week, but I think the track is on the slow side, as we've said all night. She was in a good battle with Deliveroo, but we know that she's quite a jealous type, I think, Faye Point Susie. She really does dig deep in her races, and when she's got a challenger on the outside, or indeed the inside, she does manage to pull it out the bag, and she's managed to fend off both Fabulous Sonique, who goes over 5.75, and Deliveroo, who is a strong runner in the finish, and I think she's just sensational. Faye Point Susie, 29.13, sorry, I thought it was 16, so 29.13, I put you away there. 6 to 4 second favourite, dead heated Fabulous Sonique and Deliveroo 4 to 1 and 16 to 1 respectively. So that was my highlight of the night. Shall we confirm all of tonight's Derby winners? I think that would be a good plan. Fastest time of the night, Ballinabola Joe, 28.80. But we've got Tiffield Tarquin, Ballinabola Joe, Dynamic Force, March on Freddie, Droopy's Bookham, Romeo Tomcat, Churchfield Sid, Faye Point Susie. The traps that are dominating are 1, 6 and 5. As we go for Daryl's highlight, who did you like racing?
Well, do you know, as the evening went on, I was kind of changing my mind. So Tiffield Tarquin, first of all, I'm thinking, yeah, then March on Freddie, and I've ended up with Churchfield Sid.
Yeah.
I've ended up with Churchfield Sid, but a little bit like the performance of Faye Point Susie, because he just never knows when he's beaten, does he? And, you know, he's run the race you expect him to run. He paces up fantastically. He gets to the front, and then you're thinking, where are the finishers? Where's Droopy's Plunge? Some way back, you know, he's managed to find a way through for qualification. The strong runner here is Vagar, but Churchfield Sid just loves this place. 5 from 11, I think 5 from 9 in trap 6. And he's in the hat, that draw tomorrow night, which you're going to be involved in. He's there, Susie's there, the old-timers. And, of course, he's one of those 3 Derby finalists from last year who's back again. So, you know, National Hunt Racing, everyone loves National Hunt Racing because you see all your favourite horses, don't you, year in, year out. This year's Greyhound Derby's got a little bit of that feel about it, hasn't it?
It does, and that's why I love National Hunt Racing, to be fair, because you can really get behind some horses like the Denmans and the Long Runs and Corto Star. Anyway, living in the past, we are going to head back to Jason now with his highlight from this evening.
Thanks, Danny. Actually, talking about highlights, Jim's behind me. Jim, let there be light. He's meant to click the lights on. Right, he's mucked that up. There we go, eventually. Right, Droopy's Bookham is very much my highlight of the night for Tom Hilburn. Basically because this was a plan that worked. They hold this dog in such high esteem. Last week won a cracker, second to JT Craze, and there was a decent dog in front. Droopy's Aladdin, so impressive. Beat Proper Eros last week, and Droopy's Bookham had to go and fetch Droopy's Aladdin in. It wasn't a done deal here, had to use a bit of track craft, showed more so than last week, that's for sure. Going to the outside, then you've got to have the requisite stamina. So we saw speed, track craft, stamina, we saw everything. The owners absolutely adore Droopy's Bookham. Tom Hilburn put so much into the game, and he's got a live Derby contender. That's my highlight of the night.
So our thanks to Jason for running around Toaster. It's all right when it's warm, and he's doing it all again tomorrow as well. Our thanks to everyone that has contributed on the YouTube channel as well. So thank you for those comments, and do make sure you join us tomorrow too. It has been an absolutely sensational evening here at Toaster. We'll be back tomorrow, 4 o'clock. We'll be doing a little teaser. Myself, I was going to say Jason Kay, Jonathan Kay and Jason Barrisford are with me tomorrow, and we start at 6:45 for our live show. So thank you very much for joining us this evening on Gone to the Dogs Live. We have been thrilled to bring you the first 8 heats of the second round. Daryl, where are you tomorrow?
There's a little football match going on, isn't there, that I've got to go and watch. I mean, am I allowed to say, come on, the Palace?
Yeah, I'm with you because I'm a United fan, so there we go.
Yeah.
We will get an update on Droopy's job at some point. We've just not managed to hear anything yet, so once I do know, I will let you know via social media or on the show tomorrow. But that is us for this evening, so thank you for watching. See you tomorrow.
Good night.